Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome into Up Tempo on your Thursday. It is Jersey Thursday, otherwise known as Jersey Armstrong. Today, breaking out a little Valonia Eagle drip action. This right here is a practice jersey from playing junior high basketball that I never brought back to the coaches. They asked for it back, and I forgot to bring it back. So it's making its debut today on Up Tempo after a big win for Baylor men's basketball last night against Kansas State. The final score in that one, oh my goodness. Baylor 107, Kansas State 59. If you are like my typical partner, J.D. Pickell, and hammered the under in that one, you, my friend, are a very, very silly goose. Last night, a combined, 166 points in the Farrell Center. Baylor had 2/3 of them. I almost thought there was a time in the game where my own father texted me and said, I don't think it's going to happen. I've got the under by 15, he said. I was like, Dad, Baylor's going to hit the over by themselves. And they could have if they wanted to last night. Thanks to Davion Mitchell, who had 31 points on 7 for 9 shooting from 3. An unbelievable performance from Davion, and he led the Bears to victory. Jared Butler with 13 points last night. Go along with it. Maceo Teague notched another 18. Both of those guys were heavy in the assist and rebound categories as well. All right. We got a lot to get to today. We're starting in men's basketball. We have Scott Drew, Davion Mitchell, and Maceo Teague later on in the show from their game bites from yesterday's win against Kansas State in the Farrell Center. Today's Bear Games question of the day. This is good. I like this, Armstrong. Today's Bear Games question of the day. You can go to one restaurant and get a kid's meal. What restaurant are you going to and what kids meal? And I'll tell you why that's a Bear Games question of the day here in a little bit. Today we're also joined by Dale Wallace, who runs it. You guys know. You ever been to the Baylor football or basketball games? And that guy's like, all right, everybody, we are here with Whataburger, and we're going to give away some free stuff. Or the punt game or all the stuff and the putting and all that. That's Dale Wallace. He's coming on the show today later on at 12:30. 12:05, Colin Kober joins us, a member of the Baylor men's golf team that just beat Rice this past weekend at the Rice Intercollegiate. They swept the whole tournament. Track and field this weekend. Tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, the men, number 25 in the country, the women, number 12 in the country. They are in action in Lubbock again Friday and Saturday. Baseball and softball. Talking a little scheduling today. Both of those programs have released their schedules for the year. We'll check those out. Looking forward to this spring with both of those programs. It's a busy time. The equestrian team, they kick off their season at Texas A&M this weekend. Casey Maxwell, the head equestrian coach at Baylor. Guess what her alma mater is, Armstrong? He's nodding. He just mouthed it. It's Texas A&M. Casey Maxwell, the pride of the Aggies. She's taking on her alma mater that she won 4 national championships with this weekend. Later on in the show, too, we're playing Take 3. And then what may be the highlight of the day. The number one thing today, it is, that is the Baylor second best bracket. We are 4 weeks into the show Up Tempo, and today we finish the Baylor second best bracket with by far the best matchup that we've seen, and that is Kenton Jordan, Corey Coleman, and Bryce Petty, Mom Spaghetti, duking it out in the championship yesterday. It was A little bit different. But, yeah, so that's what we got. Men's basketball last night, 107-59 against Kansas State. Breaking that down first before we get into anything else, talking that game last night. Armstrong, do we have those highlights from the win for Baylor? He's nodding. He is saying we do. Let's roll it and see what exactly happened in the Farrell Center last night.
And with that, we welcome you inside the Farrell Center from our home to your.
All right, back in the Pickell and Glow T Bears Den, Drake Toll, Zach Sweeney, and Armstrong Sims. Last night, Baylor knocking off Kansas State. Knocking off. What did they knock them off from? They are bottom dweller in the Big 12. Kansas State drops to 5-12, 1-8 overall. Baylor improves to 15-0. Takeaways from last night for me. This is what the post-game article read. Yeah, I got you guys. Guys, what am I supposed to say about this? Obviously, Baylor fans and anyone with at least 2 bars of 3G service who's checked a basketball score since 2018 saw a blowout coming from a mile away. That said, seriously, I don't know if I can remember a conference game going so lopsided. This may be the biggest blowout that I've seen in a conference game for the Baylor men. I've seen this on the women's side, but the men's side, last night, Davion Mitchell, 31 points, 7 of 9 shooting from deep. He had 22 in the second half. Started 6 of 6 in the second half from deep as well. Butler, 13, 7 boards and 5 assists. Maceo Teague, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And then another crazy stat, 2 crazy stats. Baylor was up 38-5 at one point, which is just stupid. 38-5. Reminds me of the women's game against Delaware last year. And then they were up 80-35 at another point in the game. If you are watching out there on Periscope, on Twitter, you're scrolling through, you see up-tempo, and you think, I don't want to sit on Twitter all day. I love up-tempo, but I can't do this. That's all right. If you're watching on YouTube and you think, I want to close out the app and check the forum right now and see what's going on the forum, people are talking about the Bryce Petty matchup. Well, that's okay, too. Download the SicEm365 app. SicEm365 app on the App Store or Android, and then hit listen, and you can listen to the entire show live the entire way through. You can watch through the app as well. Download that app, and that's your best way. You can close it out, do your laundry, take care of your kids, and still listen to up-tempo. Other takeaways from last night: for the second time in program history, Baylor scored 100 or more points against the same opponent twice in one season. Last time it happened, 1979. Armstrong, were you alive? Armstrong's nodding no. Zach Sweeney wasn't alive. My mom was 3. So I, too, was not alive the last time that feat happened. Now we go to Bill in Austin. Welcome on to Up-Tempo.
Hey, guys. I was just calling about the game last night. I mean, that was about as dominant a performance in basketball as I've ever seen us play. It was almost uncomfortable to watch at some points because how bad Kansas State was. It just was like a JV team versus a varsity team. I also wanted to call into the gave you crap yesterday about that terrible Texas bet that taking the over last night was a pretty good bet. It also was good if you parlayed that into the Baylor covering the spread as well. You did really well. So love the show, guys, and just want to get some thoughts. Thanks.
So let me say this, Bill, and I was going to get into this in a second. My picks last night, and we're going to get into this later on, especially with the Sick'em Pick'em. I had a parlay last night on the Baylor over with Drake -4 against Missouri State, and then parlayed that with Virginia Tech -1 at Notre Dame. And I don't know if you watched college basketball last night, but all 3 of those hit. I had another parlay in last night that also hit. The only thing, Bill, that did not hit for me last night was a bet that Colt Barber, my own boss, called me at the last second. It was like, take Louisville, and Louisville lost. How did you look last night? Anything big to note?
No, I took Baylor and to cover the over and to cover the spread just in a parlay. You got to be careful with parlays, man. You get too many parlays in there, and then cause you got to win both games. So
yep.
I try to stick to just straight bets, but last night the 27, or actually I got it at 25, for for Baylor to cover was just too much considering how bad Kansas State was. So it actually ended up pretty good for me.
Yeah, I dug into a lot of straights my first couple of days especially, and just there's not a ton of money to be made in the straights. I just took what I was confident in last night, and it worked out for us. We'll get to that later on, like I said, in the Sick'em Pick'em. But I got Bear games for you, Bill. You ready?
Yeah.
You got to go to one restaurant and get a kid's meal. What restaurant are you going to, and what kid's meal you getting?
I'm old school, so I'm going to choose McDonald's Happy Meal. Those were growing up, like, the best thing we could ever do, and our parents said, hey, we're going to McDonald's growing up, and Happy Meal with a little toy in it. So I'd probably say that's where I would go, old school McDonald's.
And then you going Bryce Petty, or you hit me with Corey Coleman?
I said it yesterday, man. I said I'm sticking with Bryce, man. I said he's closer to Robert than he is to the second place. So I think I said that Bryce probably needs a statue out there, too, for what he did winning back-to-back titles at Baylor, Big 12 titles.
I love it. All right, Bill from Austin, thanks for your call.
Thanks, guys.
Impact Health Labs caller line 254-339-1122. Text us or call us. The question of the day today in Baylor sports last night, is that the biggest blowout that you've seen Baylor men's basketball win in a conference basketball game? I know the question's convoluted. It'd be tough to say that you've seen Baylor win in a conference game across all sports. Remember the West Virginia game in, 2013? The 70-point just demolishing of West Virginia, and there's a crap ton of Kansas games because it's Kansas. But is that the biggest blowout you've seen Baylor men's basketball win in conference play? So along the lines with what Bill was talking about with our picks last night, Baylor not only did the over-under hit over pretty easily. The over-under was at 134.5, but also 135.5, I'm sorry. But also you had the line, the freaking 23.5-point Baylor line also hit last night. Baylor covers. They go over it. It was a good night for anybody that favored the Bears against Kansas State last night. You can do it again against Gonzaga tonight. They've got a matchup where they're heavily favored against, it's like Pacific or somebody stupid in their conference. It's not very good at basketball, and who knows what's going to happen, but maybe you'll take it and win. Now we got Steven from Virginia on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Steven from Virginia. Oh, boy, I know you were excited with last night and excited with your SicEm Pick'em.
My SicEm Pick'em was actually pretty spectacular because I hit
14
on every
parlay?
single pick that I made. Yes, sir, I hit, and it's making me start debating if I should start using real money. So please, someone stop me before I do. And Hunter Couture, the player that I called the X factor for Virginia Tech, went 4 for 7 from 3-point land. So, and Virginia Tech won that game handily. So I'm feeling like halfway of an expert. And I also sent you and Armstrong an idea for your next Baylor great bracket, the greatest basketball player for Baylor under Scott Drew. And I sent y'all like a 32 or 33 person list. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I like that. But I think, Steven, you have already inspired a song that releases tomorrow. And now you're inspiring a bracket that will release probably in the next week and a half or two. So you are this show is the Steven from Virginia show.
No, it's a Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell show. Speaking of which, where is that fella? Is there going to be a Blonde Boy Power Hour today?
Freaking, he calls me at 9:30 and he's like, bro, my dog, this new dog is not potty trained, and he was having a really tough time with it. He calls me at 9:30 and he's like, I'm going to take this dog to the dog park at 11 o'clock today, but he'll be in at like 12:45. So there will be a Blonde Boys Power Hour a little bit earlier than normal and with a little bit more time than normal. He's just walking his new dog at the dog park after the death of his other dog that he used to take to the dog park.
Well, I must say that he gets a pass for that because I'm an animal guy myself. But on to the matter at hand, the Baylor basketball game. I got to be honest with you, Drake. Like, I sat there, and, I mean, once it got to, like, 36 or 38-5, every time somebody hit a three, I just started evil laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a reaction. It was just like you just kept – it was funny. And we've gotten to a point, Drake, where this is – like, this is a large statement, but I mean every word of it. This is the best basketball team, pro or college, I've ever seen. I'm not saying that they would beat an NBA team, but in comparison to their competition, I've never seen a team that could wax a team like that. And Kansas State, I know they're not that good this year, but Kansas State is not some program that just gets beat like that. I mean, Bruce Weber's allowed 100 points twice in his Kansas State career, both to this Baylor team.
They're not Kansas football.
It's unbelievable. No, they're not. And they beat them by, 48. They doubled up the cover. And it's insane. It's ridiculous. It's the best basketball team I've ever seen, bar none. Bar none. And even if they don't win the national championship, even if something happens in the tournament or, they lose to Gonzaga in the championship game, I can't, there's only one team in my whole life that's ever been this fun to root for, and that was in 2013 when Baylor came out in the football team, and because nobody expected that team to do what they did. And they were up 70-0 at halftime so many times, and this just feels like that, only basketball.
I will say this. I last night with the over-under had so many reservations when it was 38-5. I didn't think Kansas State would put up 50. I was really, really worried that scoring would just halt when Baylor put in the backups and Kansas State just still couldn't score. Luckily, though, Baylor made it to where Kansas State literally only had to score 30 points, and the over hit.
I sent that message to you and J.D., and I said, I don't even know what the score was when I sent you this message, but I said, at this point, we have to look at, in order for them to hit the over, when Baylor scores 100 points, how many points would Kansas State score? And it was I think the over-under was 134.5. Yep. So they would have to score 35. And at that moment, they had scored 7 points. And I think I even said to both of y'all, I'm actually starting to have my doubts that they could score 35 points. Now, I know that they scored more than that. But at that moment, and also, one thing, any of these Baylor basketball players who's ever been questioned for anything, even if you question them in your head, comes out. I mean, we had questions about Mark Vidal a couple of days ago. Mark Vidal came out and had 19 points against Oklahoma State. And I sat here and, I thought to myself, I watched a couple of these games, and I thought the only thing that could ever do them in is if they turned the ball over too much. Sometimes Davion goes so hard to the basket that he would just lose the ball. And that has not happened. And Davion came out and had 31 points. 31 points.
He can shoot.
Unbelievable.
Best
basketball team.
He's a multifaceted offensive player, and he's great. He's a great passer. He's a really good passer. I think his ball handling skills could still improve, but he's a great shooter. He's a great passer, and I think he's as close to a pure point guard as you can find on this team. All right. You ready for Bear Game, Steven?
I'm ready.
All right, you can go to a restaurant and get a kid's meal. What restaurant and what kid's meal?
So I'm going to be very honest with you. This is not a hard question for me. I am a big lover of Outback kids mac and cheese.
Oh!
So much so that when I go to Outback and I order my steak, I ask for the kids mac and cheese as a side over the regular mac and cheese. So if I had to go somewhere where I could only order a kid's meal, I would get the kid's meal at Outback, where I would get a kid's mac and cheese with some French fries and a drink.
Wow. I like that call, and you'll hear why I like that call in just a second. And Bryce Petty, Mom Spaghetti, hot and ready cold spaghetti, or Corey Coleman?
Be proud of your bracket, Drake. These are the right two people to be in the final. These are the right, as much as the fans tried to blow it up and put Seth Russell in there, they didn't do it. These are the right two guys. And we've made cases for these guys so many times, but I'm going to be here and say that it's Bryce Petty, Mom Spaghetti, Big 12 two-time champion. We're on to OU. That's my dude. Mr. Gray Shirt, Mr. Baylor. I love Bryce Petty. I wear number 14 in sports. I'm Bryce Petty fan. That's my guy.
I like it. He is in our show's intro with the we're just ready for OU. So I like the Bryce Petty pick. Thanks for your call, Stephen from Virginia.
Later, Drake.
Later, guys. I love it. Later, guys. All right, we had a 903 number try to call in, and it didn't happen. Didn't work. Call back in if you're a 903 number. We got Matt in D.C. However, it says Monday, C talk about kids safe. That is what the caller ID lady heard, was Monday, C talk about kids safe. This should be good. I've been wanting to talk about Kids Safe for a long time. Matt, Monday, DC, talk about Kids Safe. You're on with Up-Tempo.
Something's wrong with y'all's machine over there. I don't know what's going on. How y'all doing?
I am great. So many good things to be happy about today.
Yeah, last night was unreal. I mean, just watching that game, it was complete, just total annihilation of a team. We went out there and did even more than I thought we needed to do. So much so, as like, I started to question, was this our best game we've played this year, even over the Kansas and Texas Tech game? And I say that, I know Texas Tech's much better opponent, and Kansas State's so bad. But just the fact that even when we were up like 40 points, we were still diving for turnovers and every loose ball like we were playing like we were down 12. And the fact that we continue that for 40 minutes, where 99% of basketball teams, when you're up that much, you're going to take it easy. You're not diving for loose balls. You're not fighting, stealing. Oh, they stole the ball out of dude's hands. We're up by 30 points. And I'm just sitting there like, we couldn't even execute that well as far as shooting against even tougher teams. And we just went out there and just every aspect of the game, it was crazy. And I thought to myself, all we have to do is play like that every single game for the rest of the year, and we'll make it to the Final Four and beat anybody. It was amazing.
It is becoming, now that Baylor is roughly halfway through Big 12 play, it's becoming more realistic that Baylor could, like, you can't start the conversation yet that Baylor goes undefeated this season, but it's not as if that's off the table. It's starting to get kind of eerie that, like, okay, like, it didn't seem like this was possible, but now it's actually kind of possible, and that Baylor will meet Gonzaga. Gonzaga's not going to lose another game. Baylor and Gonzaga could both meet as undefeateds in the national championship. That's a reality that people aren't talking about yet because it's way too early to mention it, but that's out there. That's a possibility, and I agree with you that's Baylor's best game. Here's why. 17 for 28 behind the arc. 17 made threes, and it only took 28 shots. That's unrealistic. That does not happen in Power 5 conference play in college basketball.
Exactly, and then even like we just went off Oklahoma State. We got down a little bit when we fought back, and so, I mean, even this game was even executed better, but just like that effort where we played like we were in the tournament and down by 12 the entire game. We were up by 50. And that type of effort is just it's just in them now. They're like, we're going to go out and get it done. I still think I still had us this year. I was going into the season. I had us losing at Tech, at West Virginia, at Kansas. So we still got to get past those other two, at West Virginia, at Kansas, because you just never know. And then once the tournament starts, you never know when that. You just got to keep it up. But if we have this effort through the tournament come March, I mean, there's no stopping us. So that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah. All right. Bear games, Matt in DC?
Absolutely.
All right. One restaurant, kids' meal. What restaurant, which kids' meal?
I'm going with a classic Happy Meal, but it's got to be like from the mid-'90s when the toys were all like either Disney or like spot on, like whatever the theme was at the time. Got to go with a classic Happy Meal.
Which Happy Meal? The chicken nuggets, the burger?
I was always a nugget guy.
Yeah.
I didn't really like burgers till I got older, and I really got like really nice. When you go to get a really nice hamburger from like a nice restaurant,
Yep.
I was more of a nugget guy.
And then we have Bryce Petty or Corey Coleman.
This one was a tough one, just because Corey Coleman was such a beast, and just the way he played. And so was Bryce Petty. But when you break it down to everything, it's not Corey Coleman's fault. I'm picking Bryce Petty, but it ain't Corey Coleman's fault. Corey Coleman just breaks down. A receiver's job is you get open, you catch the ball. All right, that's your job, or you block every play. Whereas a quarterback, he calls the plays, sets the offense. Within 2 seconds after snapping the ball, he's got to analyze where the rush coming, who's open, and throw the ball and still execute. And Bryce Petty is just the quarterback. He gets the nod by 0.1% over Corey Coleman.
Bryce Petty. All right, thanks for your call, Matt in DC.
Thank you.
All right, how about it? All right, so today, here in a little bit, we are going to have Scott Drew and Maceo Teague and also Davion Mitchell from last night's ball game, the post-game press conferences. Before that, I got to explain today's Bear Games question and break down last night's pick I had 3 parlays, a 3-team parlay, 2 2-team parlays. The 3 hit, one of the 2s hit, and the only thing that didn't hit is at you, Colt Barber. For a call, Colt sends a text and says, take Louisville money line. Colt. So I called him. I was like, why? Why? And he was like, I don't know. Just do it. And it lost. But I only spent $10 Monopoly dollars on it, so it's okay. And it's Monopoly money, you know? So really, if I was betting real money, this would matter, but I'm only betting Monopoly money. Come on, you guys. Right? But, well, let's start here. The Bear Games question today, what restaurant would you go to and what kids meal will you get? I think you'll like this, Armstrong. When I go to Texas Roadhouse, I can get a steak, which is $25, a bone-in ribeye. My father likes a bone-in ribeye at Roadhouse. Or I can get something that's $4. I am a poor college kid. I will go to Texas Roadhouse. This is real. I do this very often. I will go to Texas Roadhouse. You get free rolls.
Oh, yeah.
You get free peanuts. You get a free drink and free French fries when you order the kids' macaroni and cheese. It is a bowl, a good-sized bowl, of hearty Kraft mac and cheese. Very good. Very good. Tough to beat. You eat the fries, you eat the Kraft mac and cheese, you have a free sweet tea from Texas Roadhouse, endless bottomless rolls, bottomless peanuts, you leave full, and your ticket that is laid in your lap at Texas Roadhouse, which is a good restaurant, $4.32. Do note, for those of you that did not buy stock in GameStop, you are sad that you did not. This is your warning. Go buy stock in Texas Roadhouse right now. Because within 1 week, everyone will catch on to the fact that you can get a 4-course meal for $4.32 by ordering the kids' mac and cheese. Now, you say, well, Drake, the menu says you have to be 12 or under. That's fine. You tell the waitress, you say, well, ma'am, I know. Before you even order, you say, hey, I'm looking at the kids' menu and I know it's 12 or under, and my birthday is on a leap year, so technically I'm only like 7.5. And they laugh. It's not true, and they know it's not true, but now you've made them laugh, and like they gotta get a kick out of it, and they're like, oh yeah, funny guy. We'll give you the kids' meal without any penalty.
That works for you?
Oh, every time. Every time. I'm giving you all my secrets. This is premium content that should be on the site. This should be on the site. And I'm releasing this to all of our listeners for free today.
You want a secret?
What?
I've never been to Texas Roadhouse.
I say we change that tonight?
No.
Okay.
I'm allergic to peanuts, so I will never enter that. I will never enter that establishment.
Well, if you're Armstrong, you're not doing my secret little game. Also, last night, before we hit a break right here, breaking down the parlays. So we're going to do Sick 'em Pick 'em today, guys. This is taking on a whole new deal because now there's Monopoly money on the line. So you're going to want to pay attention to today's picks and what J.D. Pickell and I are breaking down for you, because I'll tell you this, day 1 was a $60 payout. Day 2, we lost. Day 3, $162 payout last night, only risking $50. I will say this, I really only risked 40 Monopoly dollars until Colt Barber made me risk another 10. I will never let that go. So it would have been, if you would have just listened to the show. If you would have listened to the show yesterday, did 2 parlays, 1 3-team, 1 2-team, and only put 20 Monopoly dollars into each, you'd have gone home with over $170 last night, somewhere around 175. So the first parlay, Kansas State Baylor over 135.5. That hit emphatically. Okay, here we are. The first 2-team parlay, Virginia Tech played a game at Notre Dame. Virginia Tech had beaten the brakes off Notre Dame earlier this year. It was basically a pick 'em. By the time I got to it, it was Virginia Tech by 1. VTech blew the game out at Notre Dame last night. That game, check on the first parlay. I parlayed that with Arkansas at home against Ole Miss. Arkansas plays really well at home. Arkansas has won 2 straight. Ole Miss has not played very well. Arkansas 4.5-point favorites against Ole Miss. They won by 20. First parlay, $20 parlay, $20 Monopoly dollars. That one hit with Virginia Tech and Arkansas. Congratulations. That's like $55. Then the mega parlay last night, the 3-team parlay. St. John's was at DePaul. St. John's is a significantly better team than DePaul. DePaul has 1 win in conference play. St. John's is a 1-point favorite. They win that one by 20 last night. That hits. Match that, parlay that with Baylor, Kansas over 135 yesterday. That hit. The 135 hit with like 8 minutes to go in the game. Those two parlayed with Drake. Drake University had beaten Missouri State. We talked about this in depth on the show yesterday, how they had beaten Missouri State pretty emphatically in their first matchup and then played them the next night. Not to mention, Drake struggled in the first half, played better in the second half, meaning they figured something out, so I was confident in Drake -4 at Missouri State. Well, I'll be. Drake was down by 2 with 3 minutes to go. Lo and behold, down the stretch, Drake makes their free throws, pulls things out in the end. 3-team parlay, St. John's -1 last night, Kansas State, Baylor over, and then Drake by 4 at Missouri State. All 3 hit in the 3-team parlay. Bada bing, bada boom. You nailing it. 162 Monopoly dollars last night. The banker goes home sad because you listened to the picks on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo yesterday. Also, now we have an 833. The 833 caller, 833-574. Give us a call back. Your call dropped on us, but we hope to get you in here soon. Up next, after this break, we've got Scott Drew, Davion Mitchell, and Maceo T. Here's a little Armstrong's Minute and a quick break. This is Up Tempo.
Number 2, Baylor men's basketball improved to 15-0 overall and 8-0 in Big 12 play with an unbelievable 107-59 win over Kansas State in Waco. The Bears were fueled by Davion Mitchell's 31 points off of 7 3-pointers, 6 of which came in the second half. Maceo Teague and Jared Butler also got in on the action with 18 and 13 respectively. As a team, Baylor shot 17 for 28 from behind the arc and won the rebound battle 41-23. This is just the second time in program history that the Bears have scored 100 or more points against the same opponent twice in one season. Elsewhere in the nation, number 13 Ohio State snuck by Penn State 89-79 at home. Number 14 Wisconsin beat Maryland on the road 61-55. Number 16 Florida State trounced Miami at home 81-59. Number 20 Virginia Tech won at Notre Dame by 11. Number 17 Creighton beat Seton Hall by 4, and number 25 Louisville lost at Clemson. On the women's side, number 6 Stanford beat Washington State 71-49, and number 24 West Virginia beat Texas Tech 73-53 on the road. In baseball, Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas have all earned Big 12 preseason All-Conference. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
MP Electric has developed a quality-oriented electrical contracting service in more than 20 years in the industry. Led by President Mark Perry, our electricians go through a 5-year apprenticeship program, are licensed by the state of Texas, and getting continuous education annually upon renewal. In great part, the success of MP Electric lies with its management and professional expertise of its employees. All of our employees share a dedication to quality and commitment to serving the needs of our customers. For new construction and remodels, parking lot, lighting and surge protection, landscape lights, security lights, troubleshooting and repairs. For industrial manufacturing, food and beverage, paper and publishing, heavy industry, cement and rock crushing plants, water distribution plants, and utilities. For 20 years, MP Electric has serviced industrial, commercial, and residential products. We do service right. MP Electric Inc. at 1890 Galaxy Road, Waco. MPElectricUSA.com.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel and Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel and Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel and Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneerboys.com.
Do you or your kids get nervous about going to the dentist? Stonewood Dental, Dr. Steve Childress, he can help.
I've spent a career taking care of patients who as children had bad experiences, and now they're adults that hate going to the dentist. If I get a kid at 3 years old and they come every 6 months and it's a happy experience, it's normal for them. Now they have an accident at 6 or 7 or 8 at school. Now they have a broken tooth or a trauma, and they have to come here. They're used to lights, they're used to water in their mouth, they're used to experience, they already trust us. It's amazing what we can do with that kid without it being a negative thing. But if I see a 6 or 7 or 8 year old that's never been to the dentist, and now they have a trauma or an unfortunate unexpected toothache, it's harder to do that for that kid and it not be somewhat of a negative experience. So bottom line is I try to teach kids and adults and teenagers and everybody the way I'd want my family treated, which is where it's a necessary part of life. You just take care of it. It doesn't have to be that big a deal.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Woo! It is Jersey Thursday, otherwise known as Jers Day, coming off a big Baylor win yesterday, 107-59 in the Farrell Center over Kansas State. Baylor outscored the Wildcats 54-26 in the first half. You thought, there's no way they do that in the second half. It's going to be more even keel. Things are going to die out. Nope, 53-33 outscored them in the second half. Now we're going to pull an audible. Instead of hearing from Scott Drew and Davion Mitchell and Maceo Teague, before that, we have clips from Bruce Weber's press conference last night, the head coach at Kansas State. This has an unbelievable entertainment value. I for some reason, I'm just enamored with opposing analysts, opposing players, opposing coaches talking about Baylor. I like knowing about Baylor from an outside perspective. I get what we say about the Bears, but what are other people saying about this team? This is Bruce Weber last night talking about Baylor, and it is dark. It is dark, but it just goes to show, A, how good Baylor is, and B, how terribly monstrous the beatdown was last night.
They kicked our butts again. Obviously, they make threes. They make threes against everybody, but against us, it seems like a lot more than that. 17 threes. They share the ball. They had 23 assists. Again, transition points off turnovers were a killer for us. We started two bigs. We just try something different, and we talked about getting it inside. We got it inside the first two. Both those guys did not come up with baskets. I just think we get a little impatient. We haven't made threes, and then we go back to the threes, and then obviously the turnovers plague us. So, it's just they're really good. They got a special group. They're undefeated for a reason. I just thought we tried a little something different on defense, but they're just so good, and they read it, and they make the right plays, the right passes, and I gotta believe in something. Yes, unless something happens, they should win the league, and they're going to be a team that's going to be playing late into March, into April, I would expect. So, not much else you can say. I thought I seen it all. Our strength coach yesterday, Ben, tore his Achilles. My heart goes out to him and our family. He had to have surgery today. He couldn't be with us. One of the best human beings I've ever been around, and a really, really good strength coach. And you just almost want to cry because you just don't, for him, he just stepped and made a wrong step and boom, it tore. And then today we're getting on the bus. Well, the bus didn't start. So I had to walk to the games. So with our coaches, and we shuttled in a van the rest of the players. So, and then we had some of our guys went on a city bus. So it's just, when you think it couldn't get worse, it did. But, we got to put it all behind us and move forward and get ready, for
Yeah, Bruce, you've talked a lot about these last 10 games, trying to prove something down the stretch. After a day like today, do you feel like the guys are still motivated for that? Are they as into it as you are right now?
Well, I hope so. If they're not there, they won't play. We'll play the guys that want to be. And there's enough of them that want to be there. I think they will be. But I just told them if they're not going to come with great energy and a smile on their face and play hard, they're not going to play. And that's all we can do right now. I know it's been hard. I know it hasn't been what everyone expected. But you still are playing basketball at a college level on national TV, and you got to come with that kind of energy and appreciate the opportunity and make the most of it.
Is there anything you guys you really stressed with the guys they needed to do tonight to stop that from getting that far out of hand?
Well, they just, your worst nightmare. They made shots. We didn't make shots. We turned it over. They're so good in transition. Their efficiency in transition is just amazing. And you got three, really, people have talked about 5 guards that are really good. Definitely 3. The fourth one's really is a great backup, maybe 6th man of the year. They're special. I've told that to Scott. I told you guys before, it reminds me of my Illinois team and in 05. And when you got elite guards that know how to play and they share the basketball, and then you got big guys that know their roles, it's tough to go against, and especially with a group that's has struggled all year and trying to figure it out. And right now we don't have any rhythm, and we got to find some rhythm here as we move forward.
All right, thanks. Travel safe.
Yes.
Yeah, Bruce. No attempt to be flippant, but have you had the team play defense as this one has in this game?
I don't know if it was tonight especially. They know how to play and make shots. But I thought we made some progress on defense against West Virginia. We started the 2 big guys. They hurt us in transition with the 2 bigs because one, either we missed a shot or turned it over. Their big guys run so hard. Now we had to have a guard back there, and then we just didn't match up well. That was we were afraid of that, but we thought we'd give it a go, do something different, give us a boost to start the game, and obviously it didn't work.
And Mitchell getting the open looks, was that just kind of some new guys on the floor for you that couldn't find it?
I think some of it's transition. They read it, they share it. Some of it is they play off their ball screens. They just know each other. I told our guys too, 3 years ago, they weren't doing these things. I don't know what Mitchell was doing, but he was sitting he was redshirting. But, Jared Butler was not the player he is, but he's made himself into a player. They got in the weight room. They've gotten stronger. They've worked on their skills. They've all improved, and then they bought into team. And you got to give Vital. I know he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he might be as valuable as anyone because, he pumps you. He's physical. He knows what he is, plays his butt out. And then, when we got those other skilled guys, that makes them even more successful.
Yeah, Bruce, how much do you worry just long-term about this loss being something that hurts the confidence of a young team that you have right now?
I mean, it's hard. And I just said, we got to come back. Obviously we can't even practice tomorrow because you're going to get back late. We'll do a lot of prep and shooting and talking. And then Friday's got to be a great practice, and they got to come with that energy to believe that they can win. I've talked for a while about the last 10 when we got everyone back to see what we're about, and that's the mark they can leave if they we almost starting over, to be honest, and we'll see what they do with it.
At one point, the ESPN broadcast in the first half had commented questioning the pride of your team. Did you ever get to that point in this game?
I don't think so. They're just good. I didn't think our guys quit at all. I thought they kept playing. They just they're just really, really good. So, and they're good at what they do, and what they do is something we're not good at. So it's not a great matchup for us right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm sure it goes without saying that the post-game locker room was fairly somber, but were you at least happy, I guess, with how they maybe responded to what the post-game message that you delivered to them?
I don't know. I'll know tomorrow. I'll know Friday. And that's all. I said, what did you learn? That was what do you learn from playing an elite team that knows how to play, that's very, very good, that makes the right plays, shares the basketball, guards, knows their roles, plays hard every possession. That's what hopefully you learn that. Now, if you learn that now, what are you going to do about it? And that's the whole thing. So we'll know more. You'll know Saturday at 11 o'clock how we play and the pride we have and the intensity we play at. I believe it's going to be there. I hope it's there, and I want it for these guys so that they can take a step.
Oh, baby. That sounds like the press conference of a man that may not have a job coming up. I hate it. I like Bruce Weber a lot. He's done some really great things at Kansas State and helped build a program there, but things have dropped off. There seems not to be much of a ceiling with their team. We talked to the beat writer yesterday, and Derek agreed with us. Derek agreed that Kansas State's in a really tough spot right now, and last night was just dismal. Maybe the nail in the coffin. It was that ugly. Quick hits from last night. Mitchell, Butler, and Maceo T combined for 62 points, 15 assists, 6 turnovers, 15 rebounds, 7 steals, 12 of 19 behind the arc, and 23 of 36 overall. Jason King tweets, in his entire career, Bruce Weber's teams have surrendered 100 points in a game twice. Both of those games came this season against Baylor. In a sign of how bad things have gotten for Kansas State. Did you guys hear this in the press conference? Strength coach Ben O'Donnell tore his Achilles and had to have surgery. The team bus broke down before the game. Some of the coaches had to walk to the arena. Bruce Weber, the head coach of Kansas State, prior to a game against the number 2 team in the country, had to walk to the stadium. That's a tough day, folks. That's a tough day. Ken Pom has been using the same system to track college basketball since 2002. Here are the top 3 teams all time in adjusted efficiency. Number 1, 2015 Kentucky, lost in the Final Four. Number 2, 08 Kansas, won the national title. Remember that 2015 Kentucky team? 38-1. Number 3, 2021 Baylor, 15-0 right now. Number 3 all time in Ken Pom as it sits. Congratulations to Mark Vital. 40 Big 12 conference wins, most in program history. And then last night, we found out 3 Bears. Today, we found out 3 Bears among 15 finalists for Naismith Trophy Defensive Player of the Year. Mark Vital, Jared Butler, and Davion Mitchell. Here we go. We got Scott Drew now, Davion Mitchell, who scored 31 points last night, and Maceo T, who's a part of last night's press conference, recapping the win against Kansas State. And then after that, we come back with Colin Kober of the Baylor men's golf team. This from Scott Drew last night.
Well, I think some nights you just things are clicking, and tonight they were clicking for us. We knew that K-State does with Coach Weber. He's always going to have a great game plan, and one thing they do a great job of is controlling tempo. And we thought it was really important for us to get off to a quick start. And you can't guarantee you're going to shoot 61% from 3 and go 17 for 28 every night, but when it happens, it's sure fun to watch.
Scott, the last few games, it had been about the 10-minute mark in the second half where y'all pulled away. How great was it to see that start tonight?
Well, I can tell you it's a lot easier on coaches, that's for sure. So, and then I thought they hit that 3 to end the half, and then we came out and they scored a couple, and then our crowd really did a good job giving us energy. We got some stops and got into transition, and then got separation, and then from there really locked in, and really, really proud of how we competed and played.
Scott, you've seen it, I'm sure, in practice and stuff, but Davion, that streak that he got on there late in the second half, how fun was that to watch, I guess?
Well, it reminded me of Mackay against TCU. Maceo's had streaks like that. Jared Butler's had streaks like that. And that's the great thing about this team is each and every night somebody can get hot, and the team really allows when a guy gets hot to find him and keep him hot rather than try to get their own. And Davion's worked so hard since he got here to work on his shooting and being a more consistent shooter, and I think he showed that.
Was there a moment kind of this summer where Davion's new form showed you all that he was taking a new leap as a three-point shooter?
I think more than his form was his mental confidence. And what I mean by that is last year he'd put in work, but if he missed one or two, it would affect him. And now he's gotten to the point mentally he has enough confidence in himself. If he misses a couple shots, he has that shooter's confidence now to where the next one's going in. And the mental is just as important as the structure and the physical. So he put the work in, and I think the last step always is the mental part.
Did anything strike you about this performance tonight that you played differently that led to the higher output of shooting percentages than you played all season? And looking at Auburn, how do you avoid that being a trap game as a break in the Big 12 action?
Well, I think good question on the trap game, but let's start with the shooting. I agree with Fran Frischella on this, and that is there's going to be 4 or 6 nights out of the year you just play really well or shoot really well, and 4 or 6 nights you don't shoot well, and the rest is who you are. Now, we've been almost 40% from three, which is really good. But let's face it, 61%, no matter what level you play, you can't guarantee that. What I do like is the fact that we did a great job on the glass, because when you miss, you got to get offensive rebounds. So that's that. As far as trap game, I mean, the blessing for us is we're playing an outstanding team. I mean, right now, in my opinion, Auburn is one of the top 2 teams in the SEC now that they got the point guard. So for the last 6 games, they've been phenomenal. And I know our guys are excited about that challenge, and we're excited about representing the Big 12 and the SEC challenge, and our guys have always taken that serious, and I know they'll do a good job taking it serious as well.
Scott, you guys come through a grind with Texas Tech, Kansas, and Oklahoma State, and not that these types of games are expected, but when you get a game like this, how important is that for maybe the balance of the season, where you get guys off their feet for what you hope can be a deep run all the way through maybe that first weekend in April? Well,
I thought what was great tonight was nobody played more than 28 minutes, and a lot of guys only played 24 and less. And but really, it's always your quality of minutes. And I thought our guys, whatever they played tonight, really competed, played at an outstanding level. And again, when you have so many weapons on the offensive end, I mean, tonight we just had multiple guys shooting it well. I mean, Maceo 4 for 6 from 3, Davion 7 for 9 from 3, Matt 2 for 3, LJ 1 for 2. I mean, everybody, Adam 1 for 2. I mean, 50% and above is hard to do. So I think 23 assists help with that. Guys really shared the ball, but it really started with the defense and how hard they competed.
And I was asking Davion about this, but when this game got out of hand so fast, and the fact that they still kept playing at such a high level, even as it started to swell, what does that tell you about your team in the grand scheme of things?
They're finishers. Maceo likes that was part of our chapel today. That's why.
Davion, obviously fantastic shooting night. When did you kind of know, hey, this might be a special night for me?
Actually, the second half, I think it was Rim, one of the dudes I work out with all the time, and Jared. They was like, man, you only missed 1 3. It's time for a heat check. Like you don't know when it's a heat check. So I was like, all right, I'm going to shoot the next one. And then when it went in, they was like, they kept me on the sideline, and they kept telling me to shoot the ball, and they kept going in. So give credit to those guys for telling me that.
First off, Davion, what does it feel like to be in a zone like that for people like us who will never experience any kind of athletic heat like that?
It feels great, man. Jared asked me the same question because he's always in the zone. But it just feels great. I mean, I feel like every shot you put up is going in. Like the goal is bigger. So it just feels great, man.
You mentioned a heat check. Are there standards on a heat check? I mean, that people hold you to? I mean, where you determined? How do you know you need to get one?
It's just come it's gonna come to you through the game. I mean, I feel like I hit 2 3 catch and shoot threes in a row. It's just you got to shoot the next one. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if you're gonna hit the next one because you just hit 2 in a row, so you kind of feeling it. And I feel like Coach Drew is just if you hit 2 in a row, we already talked about it's like a heat check. So you might as well shoot the next one. You know what I'm saying?
The last few games, y'all had kind of gone to about the 10-minute mark left in the game before y'all really pulled away. Why were y'all able to get off to such a good start tonight?
We knew that coming in the game, they was probably going to try to play slow, so we knew we had to get off to a fast start. We talked about it in film. We got to get in a fast start so they can play catch up the whole time. And we listened to film. We got stops. He played really good defensively to get those easy transition buckets. And then the whole game they had to play catch-up, so they couldn't really play so.
David, I know you were focused on this game tonight. I know you're focused on Baylor, but quite a preview heading into the game against Auburn this Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a great one, man. I miss those coaches. I talk to one of them most of the time. I still talk to the current players or the past players, so it's gonna be a good one.
You kind of got their attention tonight, I bet.
I'll try, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Davion, end of half there, Jared Butler turned it over, and they made another full court shot. You kind of reacted pretty visually there. What was going through your mind? What caused the reaction?
I just feel like everybody's hitting half-court shots on us. I forgot what game it was, but somebody hit a full-court shot on us. So I'm like, man, why it keep happening to us? I mean, it always happened after a turnover or something. It was TCU, actually, and they hit that full-court shot. So I'm like, man, why it keep happening to us? That's why.
Sure. And, tonight was the Immortal game, honoring the Immortal 10. How much does it mean to you to kind of wear those names on the back of your jerseys for this game?
It means a lot, man. They sacrificed a lot of things. I'm just glad to be here and play with those names on the back of my jersey.
David, when you all are in a game like this, when it gets out of hand as quickly as it does it speak more to how well you guys still play with energy and focus like you do for 40 minutes than maybe, say, in a tight game like what you were with Kansas or Texas Tech?
Yeah, for sure. We talked about that during the media timeout. I think we lost the media, and we was playing to the scoreboard. You can just tell we was playing sloppy, and, we was looking at the scoreboard, and we just like, man, it don't matter if they get that point, or it don't matter if we miss that play or something like that. So we just got to keep playing focused. We just got to stay locked in the whole game. I mean, it's kind of hard, especially because of the scoreboard, but we got to do it if we want to get a banner.
And then for you guys, now that you all have basically essentially like a 2+ game over Texas in the Big 12 standings, what does that give for you? How much energy now does that give you guys knowing that you really do have, quote unquote, control of the Big 12 race? And that's quote unquote.
We don't really look at that. I mean, it's just like we just try to take one game at a time. And if we keep playing our game and playing to our standards and just keep playing hard, everything is going to work out for itself.
What do you think the key was to you guys as a team shooting so well from beyond the arc tonight?
We share the ball, but before that, we get up shots. We come in. If you come in the gym throughout the day, it's literally always somebody in the gym from the start, from early in the morning, 8 o'clock, till I would say like an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours after practice. And we're just in the gym all day. Like it's literally somebody there all day long.
ACO, can you just talk about Davion's growth from last year to this year, when last year he was more of a defensive guy. Now he hits 7 3-pointers. He hit those 3 in a row, scored 31 tonight.
His growth was really all mental in my point of view. I saw him in his redshirt year. Every time I watch him work out, he always makes a lot of shots. He goes 80 for 100 every time in the workouts. I would just say that he's grown as a player in his mind. His mind is really strong. He believes in himself, and the guys on the team really believe in him, and I think that helps him out a lot too.
How excited did you guys get when he hit those 3 in a row there?
We were pretty excited. If you watched the game, you could see Jared, as soon as he came down the floor, was telling him to shoot the ball as soon as he crossed half court, and he let it go and he hit it. Then I think he came down and hit another one right after that one. So we were pretty excited for him, happy for him, because he's a great guy.
Well, I think
Baylor notching the big win last night against Kansas State at home, 107-59, the final. That was Scott Drew, Davion Mitchell, who put up 31 points last night, and MaCio Teague, who added a strong night on the glass. And he had 18 points, too. MaCio Teague, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Jared Butler as well with his 13 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. How about Matthew Meyer? It wasn't exactly Matthew Meyer time, but the Matthew Meyer alarm clock was revved up. He had 10 points last night on 2 or 3 behind the arc. He had 1 3-pointer. It was pretty sweet. 4 fouls for him. Jonathan Chamo-Chach was 7 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. A pretty solid team game on the Baylor side. Only one player for Kansas State scored above double digits. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Coming up next, we will be joined on the show by Colin Kober of the Baylor men's golf team. Colin and the squad got the win at the Rice Intercollegiate this past weekend. He will join the show, talk this season and Baylor's chances at a national championship. Don't go anywhere. After this break, Colin Kober joins the show. Here's Little Armstrong's Minute, a quick break. We'll be right back on Up Tempo.
Number 2, Baylor men's basketball improved to 15-0 overall and 8-0 in Big 12 play with an unbelievable 107-59 win over Kansas State in Waco. The Bears were fueled by Davion Mitchell's 31 points off of 7 3-pointers, 6 of which came in the second half. Maceo Teague and Jared Butler also got in on the action with 18 and 13 respectively. As a team, Baylor shot 17 for 28 from behind the arc and won the rebound battle 41-23. This is just the second time in program history that the Bears have scored 100 or more points against the same opponent twice in one season. Elsewhere in the nation, number 13 Ohio State snuck by Penn State 89-79 at home. Number 14 Wisconsin beat Maryland on the road 61-55. Number 16 Florida State trounced Miami at home 81-59. Number 20 Virginia Tech won at Notre Dame by 11. Number 17 Creighton beat Seton Hall by 4, and number 25 Louisville lost at Clemson. On the women's side, number 6 Stanford beat Washington State 71-49, and number 24 West Virginia beat Texas Tech 73-53 on the road. In baseball, Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas have all earned Big 12 preseason All-Conference. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new Lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingram with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
All right, welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den Thursday, folks, and we are now joined by Colin Cobra, the Baylor men's golf team. Colin, a big win this weekend, an awesome fall slate, a Big 12 match play championship. Man, what a great time to be part of Baylor men's golf.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's a great time to be part of the Baylor Bears, and it's been a fun season so far.
Colin, thanks so much for joining us again here on Uptempo. And really, here's where I'll start with Coach McGraw, who we had on yesterday. He had so much high praise for you, and I want to give you the opportunity to speak on him before we get even into the season and what he has meant for you over the last 5 years now.
Yeah, Coach McGraw is definitely one of the best coaches in the country. He's a big reason a lot of the guys on the team chose to come play here, and just a phenomenal person. Everything you read about him, hear about him, the stories are all true. He's just a great guy and absolute amazing leader of our team.
You know, you have been here now at Baylor almost as long as Coach McGraw. You were one of his first recruiting classes with him, and he had a rebuilding project to do. Does it feel like you can take more pride in Baylor golf knowing you helped him build this program into what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take any of his credit for all the hard work he's done, but it's been an unbelievable transformation when I got in here. Just the way the culture has changed and the leadership that he's shown. And I feel like me, Cooper, Travis, all of us that are 5 years have kind of just helped rebuild the program and followed his lead.
So, Colin, let's start here. You were 27th nationally, number 4 in Texas, coming out of high school, a Texas state champion at South Lake Carroll. And obviously, with numbers like you had, pick of the litter amongst colleges across the country to play golf for. Why Baylor? What brought you to Waco, Texas?
I think the biggest thing was I took a visit just to meet with Coach McGraw. My whole goal was to sit down with him, see what he has to say about the game of golf. I'd driven through Waco a few times, but it wasn't really on my radar until I met with him. And then him and Coach Black just made a lasting impression on me when I got here. And man, I fell in love with the people here, the whole family culture. It just seems like the whole sports programs, they just want to win, and they want to win the correct way. And Coach McGraw was just the final cherry on top on why I came here.
You know, one of the things we ask a lot of players, the transfer rate at Baylor is so low. There are so many schools where the facade that a program is able to put on during the recruiting process doesn't match what they're able to offer. Do you feel like when you got to Baylor that everything that you had been sold through the recruiting process was just as good as advertised?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Coach McGraw told me he was going to build a facility and make it one of the best in the country, and he's done that. We have a phenomenal staff with Joe Zara, who keeps it in perfect shape. We've got, like I said, Coach McGraw is one of the best coaches I've ever dealt with. The people here are unbelievable. The other athletes are just killing it in their regards. It just meets everything that they said it was going to be, and I think that is probably a huge reason why transfer rate is so low, like you said.
Colin, you've already had such a great career at Baylor. Now coming into your senior year last year, where you came into the season expecting it to be your last, that your golf career would be over, prepared for your first time to put on that Baylor uniform and start a season, and then you get in the fat middle of it and the bottom falls out. What do you remember? Where were you when you caught word that your season was over due to COVID-19 last spring?
Yeah, I was actually in the practice facility. I was hitting balls, and our assistant at the time walks in and says, "Hey, this tournament's canceled." I was like, "Well, is the season going to be canceled?" He's like, "Well, no, probably in like 15 minutes." And found out it was canceled, and it was just the feeling was nothing. It was just horrible feeling, obviously. And I called Cooper Dossie. Actually, he was playing a qualifier for Canada PGA, and I called him and I said, "Hey, like if there's any chance that this isn't it, let's come back and let's try and win a national championship, because I think we have something special here." And he agreed at the time, and I think we were one of the first people to jump on the opportunity to come back, because it was just a special moments that we shared over the last 4 years.
You know, I remember speaking with some athletes at that time when everything shut down, and most players didn't know if the NCAA would grant eligibility to spring players. At that time, were you unsure if you'd be given the opportunity to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I did not think we were going to get the opportunity, but I was hoping and kind of keeping my fingers crossed that we would. And it didn't look very good in the first couple of weeks, but there are some good people that, worked really hard to give us the opportunity again. So we were definitely unsure of it.
And in making that decision for the NCAA, when you heard, hey, you can come back one more year, was that a relief for you? What was that reaction like?
For me, it was a huge relief. I was dealing with some back pain. I had a herniated disc and some other issues with injuries, and I didn't want to go out into my pro career starting out injured, and I really didn't want to end my Baylor career the way I did. So it was just a big relief knowing that I would get another opportunity to kind of finish out my career on my own note,
And then moving into the fall, so obviously, and there are international players within programs throughout Baylor, and the golf program is no different. When you find out, or I should say this, the first time that the entire team was back in a room together this past fall and got to reunite, was that emotional for you? What was that moment like from your perspective?
Well, the first thing I thought of was, I was like, this is my 5th year. God, I mean, I'm getting a little too old for this, but it was definitely emotional just seeing all the guys, and we were all just so happy to be back. We were lucky in the summer we got to play some tournaments against each other too, so we got to see each other. But yeah, it was unbelievable feeling to come back and get to compete again for Baylor. So just that first time in a meeting was a great relief.
Being in year number 5 now with the program, unexpectedly, obviously, coming into last season, you thought it would be your final. Have you got any cool nicknames like Grandpa, or, do you get flack from especially those younger guys that are coming in now?
Yeah, I always joke with them that if I'm beating them, that's a problem because I'm pretty much their grandpa. And, when I outdrive them, I always say, I'm 65 and I'm still outdriving you. So I definitely give them a hard time, and they give me a hard time, but it's definitely been interesting. I did not expect it. Let's put it that way.
Speaking of, Coach McGraw had mentioned that freshman class that came in and how well you and Cooper and the older guys have meshed with them. What has that been like to get a new wave of freshmen who are 18, 19 years old, and then you're sitting here at 65?
Yeah, it's a big age difference, but these guys are awesome. These freshmen that came in, they're highly competitive. They love to play golf, and we can definitely bond over that. They love winning. It's just, Coach McGraw does a great job of recruiting people, not just golfers. And I think me and Cooper do a good job about bringing them in and getting them kind of acquainted with the culture and whatnot. So it's been great getting to know another class of people.
So how about this, too? You open up the fall slate. You find out that you can play. A lot of teams across the country said we're not going to play in the fall. We're going to leave it be and shoot for the spring, but Baylor was not one of those. You got the opportunity to tee it up last semester. What was that like for you, especially the first time you stepped out on the course?
It was cool. It was very cool. We knew we'd also get the opportunity to compete for a Big 12 championship, and we kind of set that goal as, at the end of the fall, we want to win the Big 12 championship in match play, and we went out and did that, and that was one of the coolest moments of my career as well. So just the opportunity to tee it up with the Baylor gear is a special one. To win a championship with the Baylor gear is even more special. So it was an awesome fall.
Yeah, Colin, walk me through that, not just getting to play in the fall, but your performance as a team, winning the Big 12 match play tournament. You had a couple other tournaments that you're in the thick of, but really was such a deep conference. For you guys to win that, how huge was that, and is that what you expected from the performance in the fall?
I think we have a very deep team, and we got very good players. And, sometimes the Big 12 is so good that teams get overlooked, and I think that was a good opportunity for us to go out there and show kind of the golf world that we're still here, and we got a lot of good guys, and a lot of good ones coming up right after us too. So definitely a special performance, a special moment, and I think something that I'll never forget.
Colin, I've gotten to cover the men's golf team here at Baylor for now going on a year and a half, almost 2 years. And your name and Cooper Dossie, those are so frequent, and just their names that we've covered so frequently, I should say. But then Ryan Greider pops up as the Big 12 Men's Golfer of the Month last fall. Where did he come from? Is this a performance? Has he just gotten better and better?
He was very good in junior golf. I think he may have been top 3 in the country at the time when he came in, or at least I would definitely have him in my top 3 when he came in. He's actually my roommate right now. He's sitting probably 25 feet away from me right now, but he's a heck of a player, works so hard, and it's just been great to see him come alive. And it's really nothing that we didn't expect. It's more people in the golf world that didn't see it coming, and I'm I'm really glad he's been playing great, and I think he's got the ceiling. I mean, his ceiling's unbelievable. So he's gonna have a great spring for us.
So fast forward from the fall to the spring at the Rice Intercollegiate. You guys open it up, sweep team and individual titles. What a way to start the spring. Is that how you expected it to go this past weekend?
That was definitely how we drew it up. It went how we wanted to. We played really hard. The weather was kind of iffy at times, but we all battled through. It was kind of nice. We were all right on the same holes or whatnot. So me and Johnny and Ryan could see each other, and we were feeding off each other's energies and birdies. And definitely a great start to spring, kind of springboard us going forward, hopefully.
So there was a stretch in there where it looked like Kiefer just went off this past weekend. Birdie after birdie after birdie. Is that anything that you didn't expect? Was that something new for the team, or was it like, yeah, that's just Johnny doing what he does?
That's Johnny doing what he does. I was watching it happen right in front of me. I knew I had a little lead on him, and I see him chip in, and he's got the fist pumps flowing. I knew he was coming for me, so nothing that was unexpected. One of the best players in the country. That guy is really good, and he's going to be even better in a few years. I mean, unbelievable worker as well. So definitely not unexpected.
And then for both of you guys, you both shot 5 under 139 this past weekend at the Rice Intercollegiate. Was there any? Is there any friendly competition amongst these teams when you guys know you're at the top of the leaderboard?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely competition. There's a lot of competitive spirits out there. Our team especially has some guys that want to win. I know Ryan was talking to me about how he's going to chase me down in the second round when I saw him a couple of times. So we're a very competitive group, but that's kind of what pushes us and makes us better.
So, Colin, as you look at the rest of the slate this spring and the depth of the Big 12, obviously Baylor is a contending team, not just in the conference but in the country. But what do you expect to see this spring out of the slate of your tournaments?
Yeah, we got a tough schedule coming up. Lots of good teams, lots of good players. But I just think when we get Cooper Dawsey back and healthy and we just keep growing as a team, we're going to be in a great spot. And I hope all the work that we put in turn out with some trophies. But I see us doing really well. I think this was a great springboard to the spring semester.
As you look across the schedule, too, and one of the things that I kind of wanted to mention, we saw earlier this year, I think it was the Maui Invitational in men's basketball was played in Asheville, North Carolina, but the basketball court said Maui. You guys are playing in the Cabo Collegiate, right, in San Antonio, Texas. What is that? How has this schedule kind of been thrown for a loop due to COVID?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I think we're playing the Cabo tournament in San Antonio. We're playing the Valspar, which is normally in Florida. We're playing that at Austin and UT's home course. So it's a little different. The course venues, some teams are going to know it better than others now. And there's definitely going to be a different home court advantage or whatnot if you say with the golf. But, we're just blessed to be playing tournaments. I think we're happy we'll play anywhere. And, we're just happy we're playing good competition in those tournaments. So we look forward to it for sure.
Colin, you've been a part of some great teams already here at Baylor, and now your last ride this spring, it may be the best squad that you've played with when it comes to young talent and senior-laden group. Do you feel like this team is on the cusp of the first ever national championship in program history?
The culture's there for sure. I mean, we love playing. We love playing for each other. You can see the energy we play with as you come out and watch. We're just a high-energy group. I hope this is a special season. I feel it. We all believe it, and we've been talking about it, and we're just going to speak into existence until it happens. And I hope it's an unbelievable finish this spring. It'll be a great feeling.
And you just said it, you talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys anticipate a championship caliber year? Would that be a shock to any of you?
I don't think it would shock any of us if we're at the final stages coming down the 18th hole in a final match to win a national championship. I think it's all of our goals. Every single one of us wants to play the PGA Tour, and we know that we've got the caliber of players to win national championships this year. And we speak about it, we talk about it. We're excited to go, give it a shot. I hope it comes true, and we'll see.
Well, Colin, we're definitely excited about this spring and the outlook for the men's golf program and the rest of these Baylor programs, really across the board. Everybody's got a shot at winning something in a Bear uniform, really in all spring athletics. I got to ask you, though, so on a personal note, What is your golf celebration? When you sink that birdie, you sink the eagle. I'm talking you're having a good day. Are you the tiger fist pump? Are you throwing it back? What's your celebration?
I think I'm the simple tiger fist pump. I mean, I grew up loving the game because of Tiger, so I got to kind of mimic his a little bit. Probably not as special as his, but yeah, I mean, if I roll in a 25-footer for eagle, you're going to see me fist pump for sure.
Are you the war cry guy too? Is there a guy on the team that's just the war cry guy that's going to let one rip when they sink one?
I mean, you got to talk to Brandon Hoff on that one. I mean, if he makes one, you're going to hear it from 2 holes over. He's got the energy for that. I'm getting a little old, so I just kind of give it the fist pump and walk to the next hole usually.
Yeah. All right, Colin, I got some Bear Games questions for you here today. We play these Bear Games every day on the show to round out our guests and our callers. We're wrapping up the Baylor second best football player of the decade bracket, and some of these guys may predate you, but they're big names. Everybody's pretty much heard of them. Today is the championship between Corey Coleman, Biletnikoff wide receiver, and Bryce Petty, who won 2 Big 12 championships. Who you got to go with out of those two?
Man, I'm a big fan of Bryce Petty. I mean, he can just gun it. But Corey Coleman's so fast. I'm going to go Bryce Petty. I'm a big quarterback lover, and I think they're a big reason that the Baylor football team was winning so many games back in the day. Huge fan of his. Being
an alumni of the high school that now has Quinn Ewers, how can you not be a big quarterback guy? Come on, man. I love it. And then the last question here for you. If you could go to a restaurant and get a kid's meal, if you had to, really, what restaurant are you going to, and which kid's meal are you getting?
Yeah, funny enough, at Chipotle, my little sneak deal is I'll get a burrito or a bowl, and then I also get a kid's chicken quesadilla for $4. So definitely Chipotle. It's my go-to for everything.
Bear Fuel, baby. Bring it on.
Yes.
Colin Coburn knows what's up. Colin, thanks so much for joining us on the show Up Tempo today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Man, I love it. Plug in the Baylor men's tennis team yesterday with Coach Mike McGraw, and then today with Colin Coburn. Here's what we got coming up. Dale Wallace. You guys ever heard of him? Dale Wallace, the guy at the games. It's on the big screen, and the kids are catching the punts, and they're doing the little thing with the walk-ons thing that's flying by. If you've ever been to a Baylor game, you are familiar with Dale Wallace. He also runs a vertical ministries program on Baylor's campus that goes live every Monday night. Dale is going to join us at 12:30 to talk about his role with Baylor and what he's seen out of this Baylor basketball season. Also coming up, how about Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas? They have all earned preseason recognition for the All-Big 12 team. Those 3 guys selected to All-Big 12. We're going to break down the Baylor baseball schedule. We're going to break down the Baylor softball schedule. Have more information on both of those after Dale Wallace joins us. Also today, the SicEm Pick'em is coming up. We're going to give you our picks after last night's big night. 2 parlays hit on Up Tempo. We're going to give you today's picks that you should go with in college basketball this evening. Myself and J.D. Pickell, who will join us at, 1 o'clock. J.D. will be around at 1 o'clock for the Blonde Boys Power Hour and the SicEm Pick'em. Also, we're playing Take 3. We're wrapping up more of the Baylor men's basketball game against Kansas State last night, 107-59. May do a quick preview of Auburn. Talking track. The men's team, number 25 in the country. The women's team, number 12 in the nation right now. You have Equestrian against A&M, a top 10 matchup this weekend in Central Texas. And then Bryce Petty and Corey Coleman. Those 2 guys are squaring off as we speak in the Baylor second best bracket. I tell you what, we got a lot of stuff going on at Up Tempo today. It is Jersey Thursday. Man, Armstrong, what more can you ask for? Not my show. It's not your show. It's not Zach Sweeney's show. Although if at any point in time he wanted to commandeer this thing, I'm not stopping him.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it could be Zach Sweeney's show. But we got a whole slate of stuff coming up. Dale Wallace joins us after this break. Do not go anywhere. We got Armstrong's Minute, some commercials. You're going to stick around and hear from Dale Wallace coming up on Up Tempo.
Number 2, Baylor men's basketball improved to 15-0 overall and 8-0 in Big 12 play with an unbelievable 107-59 win over Kansas State in Waco. The Bears were fueled by Davion Mitchell's 31 points off of 7 3-pointers, 6 of which came in the second half. Maceo Teague and Jared Butler also got in on the action with 18 and 13 respectively. As a team, Baylor shot 17 for 28 from behind the arc and won the rebound battle 41-23. This is just the second time in program history that the Bears have scored 100 or more points against the same opponent twice in one season. Elsewhere in the nation, number 13 Ohio State snuck by Penn State 89-79 at home. Number 14 Wisconsin beat Maryland on the road 61-55. Number 16 Florida State trounced Miami at home 81-59. Number 20 Virginia Tech won at Notre Dame by 11. Number 17 Creighton beat Seton Hall by 4. And number 25 Louisville lost at Clemson. On the women's side, number 6 Stanford beat Washington State 71-49. And number 24 West Virginia beat Texas Tech 73-53 on the road. In baseball, Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas have all earned Big 12 preseason all-conference. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
All right, welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims and Zach Sweeney. I think he said he's in, Armstrong. I think we've got Dale Wallace queued up from Vertical Ministries. What do we need an official title for for old Dale and the Whataburger games and all the games those guys play, the in-stadium stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what his title would be.
That's a very good question. I'm sure you can help us out on that. Recapping and breaking down also Baylor men's basketball season with Dale last night, the win 107-59 over Kansas State. We've talked about Davion Mitchell's big game last night with 31 points and 7 for 9 behind the arc. And now we are joined by Dale Wallace of Vertical Ministries. And, Dale, we were just talking about on the show. What's your official title? Like the game master of Baylor men's basketball and football and women's basketball and everything else?
That's a great question. Personally, I call myself the MC, the host, but somebody told me that I should be the minister of culture for Baylor recently. That's not self-proclaimed, just for clarity. I feel like that would be absolutely horrendous and like stupid to self-proclaim. I'm not Matthew McConaughey down at Texas, but and Nate Hilgenkamp does the same thing, and he kind of does it just as well, if not better. And so, I'm the host, man. It's an honor to be the host, hype man, whatever you want to call it. Who knows?
The Baylor sports hype man. I like that. I think I like that better than minister of culture. What on earth? What university would have a minister of culture?
Yeah, what a waste. It's not even a real title. Again, probably self-proclaimed by him.
I come on, but he's got the money to do it. Dale Wallace joining us today. Dale, here's the first thing I want to do is kind of break down really where you came from. I know a lot of our viewers, listeners that have been in the arena or at a football stadium have seen you with a microphone and a bunch of cheerleaders before. And just walk me through really how you got into this position as the host of Baylor Athletics.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, one, I went to Baylor University 2011 to 2015, graduated in 2015, moved to Dallas for a year, came back. And when I came back, they had just started this MC host thing at Baylor, and they didn't know who to ask. And one of the grad assistants had been coming to Vertical. And so that was 4 years ago. And he just called me. He's like, dude, I know you can speak in front of people and you won't be at scruffs after the game. So would you consider interviewing for this position? And I was like, interview for what? And he's like, well, we don't know. Just come meet with us. And so a couple of years ago, they brought in me and Blair Browning, and we started this thing. And so I really stumbled upon it because a grad student was at Vertical, and that grad student didn't even go to Baylor for undergrad. It was like so random. And, but I love Baylor athletics. I love Baylor. Obviously that's why I'm here working with college students for Vertical, but also like huge win to get to be a part of Baylor athletics. It wasn't a huge win then, because I witnessed the 1-win Matt Rule season, and have witnessed the SFA loss a couple of years ago in men's basketball. Like I was there trying to get people hyped through that stuff. So it's sweet to get to be really good right now. And it doesn't really matter how well I do now, because we're good at basketball.
Walk me through, too, with your job, with your role with Baylor for these games, do you ever get to just sit back and watch the games, or is it constantly the pressure of, oh, my gosh, where's the Whataburger carryout? I need the cardboard. Question. Like, what's your perspective at these games?
Yeah, well, for one, I do have to treat it like a job. Like, it is a little bit more of a job than I'd like for it to be. It doesn't come completely naturally to remember, the walk-ons Rose Race, game day with a taste of Louisiana. Like that doesn't it takes some time, especially if it's a new promotion. But the best part is usually by third quarter football, first or second timeout, second half in basketball, first or second timeout, I'm done. So I'm at least paying attention to the last quarter of the game, or pretty much the second half. And then half times are chilled too. And usually by that point I'm comfortable and have gotten the swing of things, but it is a little bit of a process. But I love getting to like finish and then be fully present. And luckily there's a great group on Baylor Athletics fan engagement that kind of takes care of where are the fries, where are the cheerleaders, where's the camera, where's the what's it called, whatever. So I do get to like watch the game as I'm waiting, cheer. The challenge is when there's something bad that happens and then we have to go, it's like, okay, it's the smile cam and we're losing. So everyone smile. Like that's when it's the worst. So I actually am paying attention, and sometimes it can impact it. But really my perspective is try to be hype everywhere I go, but also try to remember like what I'm supposed to say. So.
Tell me, too, we've spoken with a lot of guys that work in sports media, which this is an extension of sports media. It's basically like,
totally.
What a cool job to have. For you, I've met so many people that are either radio show hosts or hosts of things like this, that behind the scenes, they're huge introverts. They hate talking with groups of people. You know, they can be with a mic in front of 10,000, but not 10. Is this your personality, or do you got to really just get up for stuff like this?
You know, that's a really insightful question. Truly, I've met a lot of introverts as well that I'm in ministry. So my primary role is like when I meet a pastor, I'm like, oh, you're an extrovert, and they're a total weirdo introvert. And they like don't even like to talk, but they're so fun and so personable on a stage or whatever. And it's very similar, as you're saying, in the sports world. I'm more extroverted by nature. Like I naturally am going to run around and be like, hey, there's the Browning kids at the basketball game. I'm going to give them high fives. And then, oh, snap, we're supposed to be on the thing. Let's do the thing. Like I'm naturally like that. But the more I've done it, especially football, when we were 40,000 people in a stadium, I would leave after a game and I would need to be alone. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was on the big screen, you know, half the people saw me, half the people didn't. It doesn't really matter either way. But like, it's this weird thing where I've started to become more introverted and really need more time alone to start the day. I can't just like be around people all the time. And then there's this expectation that people have for you that everywhere you go, you're going to be hyped. Like I'm eating, you know, at a restaurant in Waco, and somebody comes up to me at George's. They're like, dude, like SicEm Bears. And I'm like, yeah, dude, SicEm, like that's great. Like I'm having a chicken fried steak, like whatever. And so there I am always outgoing and extroverted, but I'm becoming more introverted.
Along with that, being the Baylor hype guy, when you see an arena of 11,000 people for College game day or a stadium of 50,000 people for College game day, and you know you've got a microphone, cameras on you, whole stadium, eyeballs on you, is there a certain level of nerve that comes with that, or are you just BU ilt different at this point?
No, not BU ilt different for sure. There is a natural I don't want to call it anxiety. That's dramatic. There's a natural, like maybe fear, like a healthy, like I need to focus. And I think it's not a pressure. I don't feel like it's a burden. It's just this natural, like, oh snap, you know, like it's almost like that gut feeling like we're about to be on. And it doesn't matter if it's a football game where no one's there or a basketball, it really, obviously it goes up, it escalates when it's College game day. But in general, I have what I call a healthy fear, a healthy anxiety of like, okay, it's time to pay attention and focus because I have an opportunity to add some value to this game. You know, if we're down, I have an opportunity to make this game even better for fans. If they don't feel comfortable here, or they don't think this is fun, they don't even like basketball, but they're there. Like I have an opportunity to help engage them in a way that's different. Like players, we're watching players play. I'm communicating to people. They're listening and they can see me. Even Derek Smith is amazing at what he does. He has a great voice, but like you can't see Derek. And so it's a unique thing that I think helps break the barrier. And so I have this it's like a healthy anxiety. Again, anxiety is the wrong word. I don't know what to call it.
It's a nervous edge. Come on, your nervous edge.
I have a healthy nerve of each game.
Oh yeah,
small or large.
I feel like very similar for us at Up Tempo. I mean, we're a pretty young radio show. Most of the media outlets in Waco, you're gonna get guys that are 50s or above. They've been doing this forever. I mean, we all here are like college age guys. So you wrap up a show that you know was good. There's the slamming on the table. You throw something across the studio. You know you killed it. Do you have those moments where you get done with the 50,000 people and you think that was it? That was good.
Yes, I do have those moments. It's way better when the fans do something great. Like the Matson financial putt that Nate actually got to be a part of last year. I mean, I was in the stands because I'm a Baylor fan. I was naturally at the game, but he was working it. Like that's the best thing. Like when somebody wins something big and it creates momentum, that's the most natural way to create momentum. For somebody to win something, when a fan wins something, it's like that too just makes it even more fun and sweet and exciting. And so that's when I feel like I've crushed it, is when I've helped communicate well the game and then the person executes well the game. Obviously the higher the stakes, the better. You know, Whataburger is great, but like everyone can track those fries usually. But I think it's so fun to just, and then I'll say the one thing from a personal perspective, when I'm like, I just crush that, is when I ad-lib something funny, when it's like, oh, that didn't go the way it was supposed to go, but I just said something that like made it funny. So it does not matter that was the dumbest thing that's ever happened at a football game, that walk-ons rose race just went across the whole Baylor line section. But I made it funny, so it's a little bit less of a big deal. And maybe Baylor doesn't love that, but who cares? Somebody's probably doesn't love that, but everyone in the stands thinks that's great. And that's when I think I can add to it. And that's really when I feel like I have a big win.
Do you feel
unintentionally.
Do you feel like too that sometimes you have personal responsibility to get the crowd into a game? That there's a timeout, the opposing team's gone on an 8-0 run, maybe Baylor's still leading, but there's tension, and now boom, bald guy, camera, now the show is on you.
Totally, especially when we're down or the other team has just scored a touchdown and that timeout hits. You're like, everyone needs to wake up. Like, we're getting crushed right now. Like, I actually care about this game. And that's something I appreciated, that they're cool with me, like, adding on the, like, hey, actually stand up. Like, let's get loud. Or, like, we're at home. Mm-hmm. Like, this is part of being at home, this is an advantage. And we get to help create that advantage. And it's not working right now. Just like, I love that. I think it's part of the game. I think, it helps the players and truly helps the fans. We're so used to sitting back and just being entertained. We forget, we can actually like play a role, home court advantage. It's part of it. So yeah, man.
With COVID too, and just knowing your personality and being around the vertical ministry and how well you interact with people, when you're in the middle of a pandemic and now you're doing all of these things, but from a limited standpoint, how has that changed your job?
Yeah, well, it's definitely more challenging in all things. I will say, from a sports event perspective, it's the same kind of execution. You're just not getting as much energy out of it because there's less fans in the stands. So you just have to, be a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more energetic, a little bit more hype in some ways. But nobody likes the overhype guy.
Yeah.
Like nobody likes the fake guy. Everyone's like, oh, that guy's annoying. Or at least in my experience, especially young people are like, this guy's fake. He's being ridiculous for himself or something. And so there's this weird balance of like being hype, but not being like ingenuine. And then, and I will just admit, just from an athletics perspective to my full-time job is ministry, athletics for 4 years taught me how to look at a camera. And I had to learn to look at a camera and that fans are through the camera. And then you hit pandemic button for vertical and you get to this like, oh, snap, I'm looking at a camera and no one's in the room. Thank you, Baylor Athletics, for teaching me for the last 4 years how to look at a camera and not care the noises around me that people are making or the distractions or anything else. Like, the camera is the focus. Don't stop. Just, look at the camera and teach the camera. And so I'm honestly grateful for this experience of working with athletics. It's really served me well in even my full-time job. So.
Yeah, for those that are watching or listening that don't know, Dale is the head of Vertical Ministries. That you guys don't just go live on Monday night, that you're doing things throughout the week that benefit Baylor students and the Baylor community. I myself, a freshman last year, attended Vertical a lot, and now we do it every Monday night. You get the friends together at the house, you watch Vertical, and you throw it up on the TV. And that kind of segues into this question. I really wanted to get into your role with Vertical combined with fan engagement, and that's you gave the prayer at the basketball game was it last night?
Yeah, last night.
And how do you balance, you're giving the prayer at the basketball game, and then you're the same guy that's got the walk-on sign, running through the crowd.
Totally.
I mean, what's the dynamic where you mix those two?
Totally. Well, for one, I think people need to see that, people's views of Christianity vary. And one of the primary views is like, man, Christians are lame. Like, they're just lame. And some of that is like totally fair. Like there are some lame Christians, but I would venture to say like, that's not the way. That shouldn't be normal. That shouldn't be normative. Like you can be so fun. You can have so much fun in following Jesus. And so like praying last night and then going to the row with the kids and passing the Walk-Ons Road logo, like, dude, that's exactly what it's all about. Like it's easy to go from prayer, one, because I actually care about the players. I'm like, Lord, I actually don't want anyone to get hurt on both teams. Like I actually want our fans to glorify God. I don't want us to be screaming F words at Kansas State. One, Kansas State isn't worth our words in taunting them. And two, it's just not a good way to represent our university and the university's value, which is the Christian mission behind the university. So I'm like, I actually care about the Christian side of things. I am a Christian. I want to be a leader. But I really love the opportunity to get to be fun, to dance. Like that's the primary thing, dude. Like I love to dance and people think it's, stupid and foolish, whatever. But at the end of the day, like I personally actually love to dance. When I was in college, I'd spend time in groups of people at parties. I would dance. Like I'd be everywhere, I'd be the sober dancer. And that's how I've always lived. And I think that when people see that they notice, and that's my hope, is not that they would notice me, but just see like, oh, he can pray. It seems like he's praying to Jesus. He's a follower of Jesus. Sounds like he understands the gospel, and and he's fun. He can dance. Like what? Baptist dance? Like what? Who knew? Like that kind of stuff, I think is honestly, it's such a sweet thing to get to be a part of the university in that way. So,
before I continue with the line of questioning around you being the Baylor Athletics host, let's narrow it down. Melody Ranch, Smiley's, or Austin? If you're going dancing, where are you going dancing?
That's a great question. Well, like Austin is kind of like my favorite, but it's really Melody is probably the most like you always know what you're going to get. Yeah. It's a little bit more clean cut in the sense of dancing but who knows, dude? I actually haven't been to any of them since COVID. So I can't even, I feel like removed, but I really like this is going to be questionable, but I'd prefer like a club like atmosphere, which is kind of funny. Like I'd rather dance and alone in a corner or with my friends, like to music that people like, and that is the top 50. Like I actually like that stuff, and two-stepping is great. That's like the most simple. What you're gonna get, but you got to kind of dance at another place. You never know who's gonna come try to dance with you. So I think that's so fun. So
I promise each of those places, if our viewers, we get a lot of listeners from Dallas. If you guys have not been to any of those, it's like you go from the Baylor bubble to a completely different realm when you walk into Melody Ranch, and it's just 50 plus year olds in the cowboy hats and the boots. Totally. And just, where am I? But there's nothing quite like it. The atmosphere that those brings, and really, Dale, kind of reverting back, and what else that I have left for you, because I have so many questions. We're limited on time. What is really the best moment that you remember from being the Baylor Athletics host? What's one moment that sticks out so strong for you? And then before you even get into that, what's one moment where you go, yep, no, I don't know if that one worked out so well?
That's great. Those are great questions. The first one that comes to mind, which football game was it where it was pouring down rain?
Oh,
and
yeah.
There was only like 1,000 people, maybe 25.
That was like the first game, the second home game this year. I'm pretty sure, coming off like the West Virginia loss.
No, I think it was senior night. Wasn't it senior night?
Oh, it was Kansas State.
I think it was Kansas State.
Well, we won. The one game Baylor won.
So we won. And I remember, so it was pouring down rain. I missed my first read, not by my choice, because of senior night. They're like, Dale, forget it. And I was with this group of cheerleaders and the cheer coach. And I didn't know this, but cheerleaders don't get to run the line. And so to get out of the rain, we went under the line section tents. And I was like, let's run the line. Let's just do it. And they were like, we're not allowed to. And I was like, whatever. Tell them Dale said you had to. Like, we're going to get to the next read by running through the stadium. Like, we need to get to the other side and we'll just go with the line. And so we run with, like, me, the cheerleaders run with the Baylor line section. I'm like mic in hand, like just screaming at the top of my lungs. And it was like pouring down rain, just this moment I'll never forget. No one is in the stadium because it was the ugliest game ever. And we won, and it was so memorable. So I think that was like truly one of my favorite memories of being a part. And honestly, what made it even better was the next game we were working. So it wasn't the last home game. I guess it was the Kansas State game. I'm getting them all mixed up. There was another home game where some girls, we were about to run the game again, and the girls were crying. And I was like, hey, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, I'm just so sad. I'm not able to run the line, and I'm a senior. And so the game before, we had run the line. And the next game, I'm with a new group of cheerleaders, and they don't get to run the line. And they're like emotional about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. I didn't even realize how amazing what we did was for them. And so that was the highlight. And then I think, what is the low light? I haven't had a low yet, which is such a gift. Supposedly somebody has once said Pizza Hut instead of Papa John's, or flip that. Maybe they said Papa John's instead of Pizza Hut. And that, when I heard about that, I'm sure that is the low of any Baylor host or MC. When you say the wrong, I'll say one thing, and it's also like kind of where I have some beef. The one thing that I've gotten most frustrated about, and was one time I said sports clips something. Right. And they were like, hey, it's sport clips, right? And somebody corrected me, and that was my least favorite moment in the history of my time with Baylor athletics and being an MC and a host.
To this day, it still irks you. Those are the moments you never forget. Those are the moments.
When somebody comes up to you after and says, hey, you said sports clips, and it's sport clips, and I just about quit. And so
I love it. All right, Dale, before we get you out of here, we got Bear Games that we play every day on this show. And today's Bear Games questions, we're doing the Baylor second best bracket of the last decade. Who's the second best player to suit up in a Baylor uniform outside of RG3, because it'd be unfair. Today's matchup is between Bryce Petty and Corey Coleman in the championship for all the marbles.
Wow. Second best. See, the problem is that, I know Bryce better than I know Corey.
Yeah.
Bryce is a friend, so this could get weird.
And Corey won the Biletnikoff.
But I will say that I think Corey Coleman is the second best. And sorry, Bryce. But I really think Corey Coleman, I don't even think I went to school when Corey was around. My freshman year was RG3. And I didn't realize how good Corey was until years later when I was like, where's somebody like Corey? Where are they? Didn't we get some more of those guys? And so I'd have to go with Corey Coleman.
Corey Coleman, he's an absolute freak. And then our last question of the Bear Games today, if you're going to a restaurant and getting a kid's meal, which restaurant and which kid's meal?
Who?
Note that I said Texas Roadhouse macaroni because it's $4.32, endless bread, endless peanuts, free drink, and fries with macaroni. Good luck topping it, Dale.
That's brilliant. There's a place I'm trying to think. There's a chicken place that you can get a kid's meal, and it's the same amount of chicken as it is just for a normal meal. I don't remember where it is.
Like a Golden Chick? Or
something like
Chicken
that, like
Express?
a Bush's.
Like a Bush's?
Yeah, like a Bush's where it's you order this and it's literally just ordering. It's just $4 instead of $8 or $6 or something.
With the kid drink. All right, we'll put you down for Dale Wallace, some chicken place in Waco, kids meal.
Come on.
Bingo.
There you go.
That's it. Dale, thanks so much for joining us today on Up-Tempo. Pleasure having you on, getting to hear your perspective. I mean, the guys that people just don't think about, that they're like, oh, yeah, I would flipping love to know how that guy got into his job and how he does what he does. Thanks so much for coming on and giving us your perspective.
Appreciate it. SicEm.
Absolutely. All right, guys. How about this? J.D. Pickell is in studio. Andrew Robertson has joined us as well. Zach Sweeney, Armstrong Sims. We're hitting the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to hit an Armstrong's Minute and a break. When we come back, Blonde Boys Power Hour, the SicEm Pick'em. We're talking about wins last night. And another big thank you to Dale Wallace of Vertical Ministries, the Baylor Athletics host, for joining us. How about that, folks? That's the stuff that you get on Up Tempo. We'll be right back after this break. This is Up Tempo.
Number 2, Baylor men's basketball improved to 15-0 overall and 8-0 in Big 12 play with an unbelievable 107-59 win over Kansas State in Waco. The Bears were fueled by Davion Mitchell's 31 points off of 7 3-pointers, 6 of which came in the second half. Maceo Teague and Jared Butler also got in on the action with 18 and 13 respectively. As a team, Baylor shot 17 for 28 from behind the arc and won the rebound battle 41-23. This is just the second time in program history that the Bears have scored 100 or more points against the same opponent twice in one season. Elsewhere in the nation, number 13 Ohio State snuck by Penn State 89-79 at home. Number 14 Wisconsin beat Maryland on the road 61-55. Number 16 Florida State trounced Miami at home 81-59. Number 20 Virginia Tech won at Notre Dame by 11. Number 17 Creighton beat Seton Hall by 4. And number 25 Louisville lost at Clemson. On the women's side, number 6 Stanford beat Washington State 71-49, and number 24 West Virginia beat Texas Tech 73-53 on the road. In baseball, Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas have all earned Big 12 preseason All-Conference. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinical OT Bears Den. I am haircut almost back to normal. That guy has just got haircut. Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson, Zach Sweetie is in today. How about a little Sick'em Pick'em? Did you put any You don't put any Monopoly money.
I haven't put Monopoly money. Not in college basketball. I'd put some Monopoly money during college football because I just feel like I know more about it. College basketball also just super volatile. They call it madness for a reason. It doesn't just happen in March. It's all the time.
It does happen all the time. Last night, we talked about earlier, I had 2 parlays that we set up on SicEm365 Radio yesterday. Also, we are welcoming callers into the segment, 254-339-1122. Yesterday's parlays, 2 of them, my main 2 that were announced on the show, both hit. That was Kansas State Baylor over. Okay. Nailed that, along with parlayed with St. John's, a 1-point favorite at DePaul. Amazing. Easy pick. St. John's wins it by like 20 last night, maybe less than 20. They killed DePaul. That hits. And then the third for the parlay, this is the one that I almost threw up over. Drake. 4-point favorite at Missouri State after beating the brakes off Missouri State the night before. They were down by 2 with 3 minutes to go. Drake comes back, wins it by 6, holds on, parlay hits. Not only did that hit, but I also hit on Virginia Tech, a 1-point favorite at Notre Dame, a 20-point win. And you had Arkansas, a 4.5-point favorite at home against Ole Miss. They won that game by close to 20. Both parlays hit. $170+ payout last night.
There we go. It's just money.
It's Monopoly money.
And Drake covered 4.
Yeah.
They covered the 4, right?
Drake
Vegas
covered the
knows
4.
something. They went, 6? That's a bucket?
So tonight.
It's scary how close Vegas gets.
Tonight, folks, for you guys out there that are weary of betting games with your Monopoly money tonight, I got to tell you, I would not get gutsy. Tonight's not a very good night to get gutsy. You got a lot of Pac-12 play, a very volatile league, and a lot of really spread out lines here. Not only that, the one game that I would lock in, my one lock for the day without a doubt, has got to be Kansas at home against TCU by
14.5.
It was 12 this morning.
14. Do you still like it at 14.5?
I like it at 14.5 too. But gosh, I love 12. I love Kansas by 12 at home against TCU. I like Kansas to win that game by 20 tonight. I still lock in Kansas at 14.5. If you can buy a point or a 1.5 in that one, go ahead, buy the 1.5. That's what I think I'm going to do. If I can get that game down to 13, if I can buy a 1.5, I'll probably buy it in the Kansas TCU game.
I like that. I think I'm with you. 12 is way more appealing. 14.5.
Yep.
A little more gutsy, but hey, scared money don't make no money. Here's my scared money don't make no money pick of the day. Memphis at SMU +4. I like a money line, honestly, but +4. I think this team is playing well right now. SMU, I don't know much about, to be honest with you, but Memphis just overall, I think the better program, and I like 4. I think that's generous.
So here's the deal with Memphis at SMU. Memphis wins at home. Memphis wins at home by what? 4? I think Memphis won by 4 yesterday. So it's a game where Memphis plays SMU, and then they're going to play the same game the next day, but this time it's in Dallas. Both teams traveling today to that ball game. I don't know, man. I think SMU wants revenge in that one. It's a tough pick. But SMU 4, that's a good point. Now, do you parlay that with Kansas TCU? I think that's dangerous. I think that's dangerous.
I don't.
I think SMU Memphis may be a straight tonight.
SMU Memphis is a straight for me. Parlays, you made a good point earlier in the show. You're like, hey, there's not much money to be made on the straights.
Yep.
The deal with straights is you have to bet a lot to make a lot.
Yep.
Which is, I guess, just the nature of gambling, I guess. But also your odds go down when you bet more games.
Right.
So it's so tricky, but if you can find some diamonds in the rough, like we do here on Up Tempo, which is, again, a family show that loves Monopoly and loves Monopoly money, which we like to multiply with any given game, parlay, you name it. Memphis +4. I like a money line too, but +4 just feels like a safer bet to me. It's hard to travel home after a loss and play the same team.
So last night, I put in $40 on a parlay, on those 2 parlays, 20 on each, 20 Monopoly dollars on each. Okay. And I made $172 Monopoly dollars. Here's the deal with a straight. I can put $11 down, 11 Monopoly dollars down on a straight. If it hits, I make 10 Monopoly dollars. What's the point? If you have two games that you're really, really confident in, you're going to want to parlay them together. I'd say especially in college basketball where there is so much to pick. Here's the thing, and this is what I love about this show and this show's segment. When you break down the mid-major games, there is always going to be one mid-major game that you find and you go, that's easy.
Right.
And it's going to work out for you. Drake, Missouri State was tight, but it worked out in the end. The only mid-major that I've been bitten on was Dayton against St. Louis, and that's only because Dayton won by 6 instead of 8.
Here's my question for you. When it comes to picking these games, because obviously you've done well, had a hot week. I think you're definitely up on the week if that's...
Up 205 Monopoly dollars right now.
Up 205 Monopoly dollars. So when it comes to picking these games, people are going to say, Drake, the house always wins. How do I bet these games effectively? How do I make a good decision? I get blinded by my fanhood. I get blinded by the numbers. I try and get too cute, try to get too smart like myself. I played the under last night. I was went against my common knowledge.
You freaking played the under.
Played the under. Played the under.
Oh, jeez. What do they tell you in school? Never play the under. Never play the under.
I didn't take that class. But my question for you is art versus numbers. How much weight do you give to each, and does that vary on each game?
I think yesterday you made a point about art and how art sometimes... There are gut feelings. I went with a gut feeling for Texas Tech, West Virginia, and won on a straight on Tuesday night. One of those nights.
Right.
That said, you can't trust art all the time. If you're looking at straight numbers, that is going to do a pretty good job at getting you where you need to go if you're betting smart. Here's the deal. I lost Monopoly dollars on Tuesday because I became an idiot. I got greedy after a nice night on Monday and decided to bet stupid crap. If you bet stupid, you're going to lose money. If you bet smart, Monopoly money, you're going to make Monopoly money. Last night, smart with St. John's, Kansas State, Drake. I liked those 3 picks a lot. Otherwise, I'm not parlaying them together. The Louisville game, I didn't like. I wasn't going to pick it unless Colt Barber said, hey, pick this game. And I was like, all right, Colt must know something I don't know.
Right.
And
he's our boss.
And he's our boss. And
he makes the calls.
And he didn't. And Louisville lost. But I wasn't going to parlay that with anything big or put any big money on that because I wasn't confident in it. I was confident in St. John's, Kansas State, Drake. And it hit. Because you've got to take what the numbers give you, find what you like. If you're confident in it, parlay it together. That's where the money is to be made. You can put $10 down on a parlay and make $60. 3-team parlay, $10 down, make $60. You can do a $10 straight and make $8. What's the better deal?
But the gambler's cry is always, I was one game short of, like 6-game parlay. 5 of them hit,
right.
1 of them missed.
And that's why you never, unless there is something unbelievable, like maybe it's a Saturday and you find 3 that you know, 4 that you know, 5 that you know, parlay them. But I do not like anything more than the 3-team parlay.
I'm with you. I think anything more than 3, you're playing with fire.
Oh, 100%.
Playing hot fire.
So let's talk tonight. We've already broken my lock. My lock tonight, I like Kansas. Buy yourself a half a point. 13, Kansas by 13 tonight.
Buy a half a point, okay.
Buy a half a point on that. I think 14.5 is dangerous. It depends on what TCU does to get back into that game late. TCU is big straight booty right now. Kansas is also big straight booty right now, but they're at home, and I like Kansas in a bounce-back game against the Horned Frogs. Thoughts?
Kansas at home. Like you said, TCU is playing horrific. Kansas is still Kansas. Kansas is still a pretty decent program. They're not playing well right now, but they're still a decent program, and they beat TCU in their sleep.
Gonzaga, you're going to ask me. Gonzaga at San Diego. It's a 27.5-point game. We don't touch those. We do not touch anything above 25 points.
Stephen from Virginia touched 24.
He did.
And
you
came
also
home, came home.
You went the under, though. Like sometimes those things are just going to happen. I did not like Baylor 24. I do not regret not taking Baylor 24.
No, yeah. I think as Monopoly gamblers, it's easy to talk yourself into things, especially when you see a good payout. Like if you say, hey, this guy money line makes me 30 and I'm only betting 10.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a reason you're making 30 and only betting 10 because nobody else in the world, people that have done a lot of homework when it comes to the analytics, they know that that's probably not going to happen. Every now and then you get lucky, but if you play that way most of the time, you're going to lose some money, Monopoly money.
Those of you out there that are Monopoly money bettors, tonight's 3 games in the top 25. Kansas is a 14.5-point favorite. Gonzaga is a 27.5-point favorite. Houston is a 17.5-point favorite. I do not like the Gonzaga or the Houston picks. Stay away from those. Gonzaga's on the road. Houston's on the road. Kansas is at home against a bad TCU team. I like that pick for Kansas. That is my lock of the day. Now, outside of that, you're looking at a lot of Pac-12 games that you might get lost in.
Yep.
USC at home against Oregon State by 12. I don't like that one. The Pac-12 has been super volatile. Oregon State has been volatile.
12 is a lot.
12 is a lot. Rutgers at home against Michigan State. Rutgers is 4-6 in the Big Ten. Michigan State's 2-4 in the Big Ten. Here's what I'm looking at with that one. Michigan State has not played a game since January 8th. They are on a 20-day rest, so you don't know what you're going to get with them. Rutgers just knocked off Indiana on the road. That's great, but they had lost 4 straight prior to that. Neither of these teams, one hasn't played and one hasn't played well. I stay away from that.
Rest versus rush, 20 days is a lot of days. We saw with the Baylor women's program. They took some time off, had to practice the day of. I still truly believe we'll see they're much better than Iowa State. But in this instance, 20 days of rest, far too much for me to even feel comfortable touching that game.
So I wouldn't touch that one either. Looking across the other, there are some mid-majors here that I liked.
What about Arizona, Stanford? Arizona minus 8.5 at home. The Cardinal 9-5. Arizona 12-3.
Yeah, one's 5-3 in the Pac-12. I like what Arizona's putting together right now. Arizona's won 3 straight. Their last game at home, they won by 13 against Arizona State. Stanford, their last win was by 1 in overtime against really bad UCLA. Put me down for a money line Arizona in that one.
Really? Okay.
Put me down for a money line.
What is the money line there? Let's see. I don't have a side in this one. I'm not going to touch it. I like Arizona minus 8.5 if I had to pick a side. Money line's minus 400, so you're spending $400 to make 100 Monopoly dollars. But hey, 40 makes you 10 if you feel good about it. That's cash money. That's cash Monopoly money.
I didn't even touch the money line then. Now that you say it, now it's 400. That's a very good point that you make there. Southeast Missouri State's a 2.5-point favorite at home against SIU Edwardsville. How about this? SIU Edwardsville has won 3 out of the last 4 dating back to December 18th. They have played 3 games in the last week, okay? But they've won 2 of those 3. Their only loss was to Belmont. They've all been on the road. They're still on the road against Southeast Missouri. SEMO has lost 4 out of their last 5 dating back to early January. I don't like SEMO at home tonight, minus 2.5. You may get a good pick tonight in the mid-majors with SIU Edwardsville.
I was looking high and far and wide to try and find this game even on the ESPN app. I was like, SIU, SEMO. I don't know anything about either of these teams, Drake. I probably won't touch it. 2.5. Maybe you get lucky and just pick one. I mean, bottom line, one of the two is going to happen. Anytime you have a half point,
all right,
one of the two is going to happen.
So here's the deal. If you're looking mid-majors tonight, pay attention if you're trying to bet mid-majors. Here are 2 that I really, really like right now. The first one being Belmont is a 5-point favorite at Austin Peay. Austin Peay lost their last game at home against Jacksonville State by 6, okay? Belmont, they've won their last 5 at least, okay? They have won the total, 114-62. They won the one before that by 13-7. This one by 21. This one by 20. Belmont's really hot right now. They're on the road against Austin Peay. The road has not fazed them. I like Belmont by 5 at Austin Peay tonight. I would take that. Austin Peay's been in some tight games against teams that are not very good. If you want a mid-major, your first mid-major lock, Belmont by 5 at Austin Peay. Your second mid-major that I'm really high on right now, Weber State at Idaho. Idaho is 0-11, 0-8 in conference play. Idaho has lost their last 3 by 15 or more points, okay? Weber State has won 4 out of their last 5. And the 4 wins that they notched were by 3 of the 4 wins were by 20 or more points. I like Weber State on the road tonight to cover 11.5 against an Idaho team that is really booty right now. If you're looking for good mid-majors, you're going to want to pick up on the Weber State Idaho and the Belmont Austin Peay.
You said you don't like Michigan State at Rutgers?
I don't really like Michigan State at Rutgers. Michigan State's got a lot of rust. I'm going to have to pick that game. I'm taking Rutgers. Rutgers in that one.
Money line's Michigan State plus 125. Plus 3. See, whenever it gets down to like plus 3, plus 2.5, I'm like, I might as well just take a money line.
True.
Because
if it's a 1-point game, it's a 1-point game.
I might as well just take them. So I think I would, if I were going to have some action, it'd be the plus 4 with Memphis and money line, I think, with Michigan State.
Money line on Michigan State. They have not played in 20 days, and they're on the road in the Big Ten.
I just took about like 5 minutes to tell you why you shouldn't bet on them if they have 20 days off, but Izzo and the boys are going to come rocking.
What is that? Is that heart or is it numbers?
It's heart. It's all heart. It's all heart, Drake. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't watched either of those teams play a single game this year, but I know Tom Izzo, and I know Michigan State, and I know Magic Johnson's not going to let them lose.
All right. Why are you the way that you are?
Also, prop bets. NFL came out yesterday. Super Bowl. Did you see that?
Yep.
Tom Brady, over under a half a rushing yard.
Really? I'm going to go over.
He's averaging 3.5 rushing yards in each Super Bowl.
So tonight, my locks are I like Kansas Take the spread. Kansas at home against TCU. Maybe buy a 0.5 point in that one. I like Belmont in the mid-majors, and I like Weber State in the mid-majors. If you're betting on games, I would not, listen to me, I would not do more than one parlay tonight, and I would not do more than a 2-team parlay. Otherwise, you're looking at something dangerous. Of those 3 games, I'll probably go in 2 parlays. My more confident, 20 Monopoly dollars. My less confident, 10 Monopoly dollars. And what I want to see there, take your favorite of those 3. Take your favorite of those 3, put it in each parlay. I like at least one of those. I think my lock to hit is Kansas probably tonight. Parlay that with the other 2 games. Put 10 on the one you're least confident in, 20 on the one you're most confident in. At the end of the day, if you lose 30 Monopoly dollars, you do. If you hit on one of those, you're going to make that all up. You're going to make it all up.
Do you have a super dog tonight? So double-digit points they cover. The easy one to me, the one that looks the most appealing is San Diego, 27.5. Not because San Diego's good, because 27.5 is a lot of freaking points. You need some stuff to go right if you're going to cover 27.5.
You say double-digit? It has to be double-digit?
Let's say double digits. Is there a super dog? I mean, you don't have to pick one. Is there one you like to cover double digits?
Man.
Because it's tricky.
Shoot. If I'm going to have to go with one, one of the games that I looked at pretty heavily last night was actually, man, I don't want to say that. Guys, if you're also looking at this Winthrop game, I like Winthrop too as kind of as it's not a sleeper game, but I like the Winthrop pick.
Okay. Just
because UNCA has been playing so poorly. Man, I would have said that one, but honestly, yeah, UNCA's lost 2 of the last 3.
Dogs in the doghouse tonight.
I like Winthrop by like 15 in that one probably in the end. I don't know if it's a lock, but give me, while I'm looking at this, will you tell me what your thoughts are on the UTEP UT San Antonio game? We're gonna wrap these up here in a second.
UT San Antonio.
Yep.
Seeing as I've watched neither of these teams,
okay.
I would say UTEP because the ESPN Power Index has them 58-41.
If I've got a super dog tonight, lock it in, super dog against the spread. Tennessee State is playing a game tonight as a 12-point dog at Murray State.
Okay.
Tennessee State has lost 4 of their last 5. Their last game was a win by 1. Before that, they lost by 2, lost by 3, lost by 4, lost by 1. They're keeping these games tight at home and on the road. Tennessee State, a 12-point dog against Murray State. Murray State's last 5 games, they've won by 9. They've lost by 3. They've won by 22. They lost by 6. They lost by 5. I like
all over the map.
Super Dogs, Tennessee State. They're not very good right now, but I don't think Murray State beats them by more than 12 at Murray State. I like that if you're going for a Super Dog tonight.
Book it. Dogs howling in Murray State and San Diego. I'm sold.
All right. We got Steven from Virginia on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Steven from Virginia, your 4-team parlay hit last night. What are your thoughts on today's SicEm Pick'em?
Today I'm taking the winnings from yesterday's hit, and I'm using it on 3 picks.
Okay. 1
parlay, and I'm betting on 1 super dog. My parlay bet includes my lock of the day, which is Kansas over TCU. I like Kansas in a big way over TCU tonight, in the way that I liked Baylor over Kansas State last night. The spread is not as high, so I like that. And then my other pick is in top 12. I'm picking California +8 against Arizona State on the road because I'm not that confident in Arizona State. Arizona State hasn't played that well. That game is on 10 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 in Waco. And then my super dog pick of the day is I'm picking Tulane plus the 17.5 against Houston.
Ooh, I looked at that one as well. 17.5 is a lot. Like, I don't understand how you cover this many points.
Yeah.
Anything over 15,
Houston's number 6 team in the country. I would not touch that one, Steven. If for me, I wouldn't touch it just because Houston has played really, really well as of late. Looking at that game, what you got to look at here is what the teams have done in their last 5 ball games. That's why I was really high on Drake yesterday. They're undefeated right now, and they pulled it off for me. Houston has won by 17 on the road at Temple. They won by 27 against Tulsa. They won by 17 against UCF, 21 against Tulane at home, and 7 against Wichita. That was January 6th. I do not like Tulane as a super dog. I think it could happen, but I don't think it's a lock. I don't want to put it in a 3-team parlay.
Well, the reason that's why I'm not including it in my parlay. My 2 picks, my parlay picks are I like it a big way. I really like California against Arizona State. Arizona State has only played 12 games. California's played 5 more games. I really feel like that's going to help them, and they have a dominant scorer at the guard position, and I really feel like that will help California. The reason I like Tulane is because, like you said, it was a 21-point game in Houston. So I would say, give or take about 5 points to allow the games at Tulane this time. I don't like Houston 17.5. That's too big a number for me.
ESPN.
So I'm going to let y'all go. Take it easy.
Have a good one, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
The Power Index on ESPN gives Tulane a 4.7% chance to win that ball game.
They're not going to win,
4.7%. Oh, no, they're not going to win, but I'm saying if you have a 95% chance to win the game, is there like a conversion table to how many points that is? Because I feel like 17.5 looks more and more appetizing now.
Arizona State has been in their last 5. They lost by 13 at Arizona. Remember, Arizona State is at home. In their last 3 home games, they've lost by 2, they've lost by 9, and they've lost by 6. Shoot. I think Steven may be right. I think Arizona State.
He's been hot lately.
Arizona State minus 7.5 is probably a good pick against Cal. If you like that, all right. So here's my 5 picks of the day today.
You got that one in.
You did that. I'm going to lock that in.
The Steven from Virginia special.
Yep.
He's been rolling lately.
Your top 5 picks on the SicEm Pick'em today would be number 1, Kansas covering against TCU. Number 2, Cal plus 7.5 at Arizona State. Number 3, Belmont covering. Number 4, Weber State covering. And then number 5, give me Winthrop also covering. Those are your top 5 games of the day in my book today. JD, do you have anything different in there?
I really love Memphis plus 4. Maybe even Memphis money line. I also like Michigan State money line.
You know what?
On the road against Rutgers.
I'm going to go, let's do this. Let's say a wild card tonight. Give me Tennessee State plus 12. That's your 6. That's your 6 picks today that I like. I don't think any of them are locks outside of TCU Kansas. I still think TCU Kansas is a lock if you buy a half a point or a point. I'm going to buy a 1.5 tonight. And if you're betting Monopoly money, well, yeah, you made some yesterday on the SicEm Pick'em. I can't promise you're going to make any today, but look, we'll give it our best.
You just got to dance with the one that brung you, and you ride the horse that's hot.
Ride the horse
that's
hot.
This is a hot horse over here.
We are up $205 Monopoly dollars on this show.
Yeah. I don't know what I would be, but I'm probably detracting from that.
Guys, up $1,000 in Monopoly money. In fake hypothetical Monopoly money that we're playing with. All right, this has been the SicEm Pick'em. Those are your picks for the day. We locked in our top 5 in a wild card. I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell. Jack McKenzie is here. We've got Andrew Robertson here. Zach Sweeney, Armstrong Sims. I love it. When we come back, we're breaking down the baseball schedule and the softball schedule that were released yesterday to break down which games you can go to watch your Bears and Lady Bears play this spring. Don't go anywhere. This is Up Tempo.
Number 2, Baylor men's basketball improved to 15-0 overall and 8-0 in Big 12 play with an unbelievable 107-59 win over Kansas State in Waco. The Bears were fueled by Davion Mitchell's 31 points off of 7 3-pointers, 6 of which came in the second half. Maceo Teague and Jared Butler also got in on the action with 18 and 13 respectively. As a team, Baylor shot 17 for 28 from behind the arc and won the rebound battle 41-23. This is just the second time in program history that the Bears have scored 100 or more points against the same opponent twice in one season. Elsewhere in the nation, number 13 Ohio State snuck by Penn State 89-79 at home. Number 14 Wisconsin beat Maryland on the road 61-55. Number 16 Florida State trounced Miami at home 81-59. Number 20 Virginia Tech won at Notre Dame by 11. Number 17 Creighton beat Seton Hall by 4, and number 25 Louisville lost at Clemson. On the women's side, number 6 Stanford beat Washington State 71-49, and number 24 West Virginia beat Texas Tech 73-53 on the road. In baseball, Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas have all earned Big 12 preseason All-Conference. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? by not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference, and that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans and all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or wacocustommarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122. For your company's mass COVID testing, log on to impacthealthlabs.com.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell for the Blonde Boys Power Hour.
Welcome back in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell, Blonde Boys Power Hour today, baby. Let's break it down. Baseball and softball schedules today. And we are playing Take 3 after this segment. I'm going to give 6 facts. 3 are true, 3 are false. And these guys in studio are going to try to pick what they make of those 6. Phone lines.
We're going to do our best.
Yeah. Phone lines are open at 254-339-1122. We just wrapped up the SicEm Pick'em. That will be a segment that we do every day for 15, 20 minutes. Post to the premium site. Subscribe to SicEm365.com to the forum, and you can see our top 5 picks of the day. Play along with us. We'll keep a running tally. We've got Andrew Robertson here, who is a numbers guy.
Goodwill Hunting, if you will. Isn't he your cousin? Goodwill Hunting? Goodwill, yeah, Will Hunting is his cousin.
Yeah, Hunting was his last name, but the publicity was just too much, and his dad made him change it.
People understand.
So, yeah, we're going to post the top 5 of those. We'll post we'll post our lock of the day on the Uptempo Twitter as well. We got Zach Sweeney in here who's helping us run that puppy. We'll get some of that stuff broken down or locked in every day for you, and then have that segment posted up for all of our Monopoly bettors out there that bet Monopoly money, not real money. That's not legal in Texas. We are only betting Monopoly money, guys. Come on.
If we start losing people Monopoly money, we may need to enhance our security for this studio. You know what I'm saying? We might get a couple extra padlocks. If you know, something crazy happens and the picks start going bad, which I don't think they will.
No.
But some people think the house always wins. I don't think that's true. I think the house is wrong all the time. and the House has never beat me. So,
wow.
There we go.
All right, how about today? The Baylor softball schedule. The softball and baseball schedules both were released, but also even bigger than that, Baylor has 3 players on the preseason All Big 12 team.
How about it?
So pulling up here the schedule on the softball side, going to break this puppy down. Armstrong, I think there's a graphic on Twitter that has a softball schedule along with it, and the baseball. Tell you what, let's start in baseball and break down theirs, starting with this right here. Trio of Bears selected to the baseball preseason All Big 12 team. Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas. I really think this baseball team this year, JD, has a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah. Covering some of their games last year, McKenzie's an absolute stud. And he was a freshman. And I think what Coach said when he had him on, he's like, he might be the first player to be like 3-time freshman All-American or something crazy. Because he'll be a freshman again. And he was an absolute stud. I think Coach mentioned him being the top 3 when it comes to the lineup. He was an absolute consistent animal when it came to that leadoff spot. Always gets on base and just tracks the ball so well in center field. He's fun to watch. I'm excited to see him have another freshman season.
All right, so with baseball here, we've got Baylor breaking it down. They're going to open their season coming up not too long from now. The team is going to kick off their slate with Jacksonville State, February 19th through 21st. I would hope that's a sweep.
Yeah.
They started with Nebraska last year. This year
on Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's
Tough
Day.
one.
What?
Tough love.
Oh, with was that a Valentine's Day game?
Valentine's
for
Day
Nebraska?
kick, yeah. Valentine's Day.
Wow,
First game.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
First game, and then immediately after that, the baseball team will play a midweek series against UT Rio Grande Valley in Waco. And by series, I mean one game. So Baylor, 3-0? 4-0 now?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. 4-0, heading into the Round Rock Classic.
All right, so the Round Rock Classic, that's got Texas A&M, Auburn, and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That is going to be a sweet field. A&M's usually pretty solid. Auburn's usually sneaky in the SEC in a deep conference. Oklahoma has their years. I think Baylor's going to be better than OU in the Big 12 this year, but it's not impossible that Oklahoma makes a pretty deep run. They did a few years back. They beat Mississippi State. They went to a super regional. Oklahoma's sneaky. They're sneaky. But A&M, Auburn, Oklahoma, that is February 26, 27, 28, the Round Rock Classic. Guess what Round Rock is?
Arkansas, USA.
No.
Yep. Little Round Rock. Texas.
Did you really know that? Did you really know it was in Texas?
It's right in front of me.
I hope so. Somebody had mentioned how like the playing some of the Bear games, it's like, yeah, you're shooting your credibility when you have no idea on some of these things. So, hey, come on.
Yeah, what are you
We're
going to
not
do?
just a sports show.
What are you going to do?
We're figuring some of the things out along the way.
Yeah.
Round Rock's in Texas.
Nobody's perfect, never
This
been
guy
perfect.
knew it. After that Round Rock tournament, you're looking at a Tuesday contest against Sam Houston State, and then a 4-game weekend series against Memphis. How about that?
I love the fact, backtracking a little bit for the Round Rock Classic, they'll be 4-0 heading into that game.
I think so.
Ideally, in a perfect world, we would expect they'll be 4-0 heading into that game.
Into the
Playing
round robin,
some
Round
good
Rock
teams.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think we'll learn a lot about their bats in that game. They'll have seen really elite pitching until they get to the A&M, Auburn, Oklahoma games. And I think that's going to be advantageous. They won't have played in Nebraska or a more powerful team until they get to the Round Rock. They'll have some confidence, have the bats working, be in a rhythm a little bit, you'd hope, and be ready to play some good ball against some good teams.
Here's what I like about coming off that Round Rock Classic is then the following weekend you've got a 4-game series against Memphis, March 5 through 7, meaning you'll get a doubleheader somewhere in there.
Okay.
Put the rubber to the road against a Memphis team that's not bad. Memphis is not an awful baseball name, but it's also not you're not playing Vanderbilt on a 4-game weekend series.
Yeah.
Following weekend after that, so no midweek on the March 5 to 7. The next game is the next stretch is they'll go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, for a doubleheader on a Saturday against San Antonio and LSU. UT San Antonio and LSU. It's like a softball schedule up in here.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited. Typically seeing a doubleheader, usually it's 2 of the same team.
Yep.
You got UTSA and LSU, round robin Ascot doubleheader, and it's going to be fun. They're going to get a good helping of SEC ball early in the schedule.
You come back from that with come back from Baton Rouge with a quick break against Prairie View A&M in a midweek March 16th, and they open Big 12 play with Texas, top 10, top 25. Top 15. I've seen them all over the place. These baseball polls are so volatile.
You never know.
Texas at Baylor Ballpark, March 19 through 21. Baylor in Texas. Then they go back on the road to play UT Arlington. How about that?
Okay.
In Arlington.
The Mavericks.
followed by the Big 12 road opener in Fort Worth against TCU the following weekend after playing Texas in Waco. So Texas and TCU open your conference slate. Two pretty darn good teams.
Yeah, and it'll be really cool to see where Baylor is going into that Texas game. Like, will this team be, a 1-2 loss team playing some really good ball game in the Round Rock Classic, or are they going to be undefeated and be able to kind of go toe-to-toe and see who's going to be the power in the Big 12 to open Big 12 play? So I'm excited. I think the schedule lines up really well for this program in terms of difficulty, from easy ones with Jacksonville State all the way to Round Rock Classic, and then you get Texas.
We talked about, too, though, that I think 15 wins in the Big 12 this year, in a slate where you're going to have 27 games, 15-12 record in the Big 12, you could probably still host a regional.
You're sitting pretty.
The Big 12 is that strong.
Wins,
the Big 12 is that strong.
Oh, for sure.
15 wins in conference play, and I really think you're looking good. Right now, you're going to have to beat the teams in the Big 12 that aren't that good.
Okay.
You're just going to have to win the games you're supposed to win. And then after that, you've got a slate against Texas State, North Carolina A&T, UT Arlington, and then you get a break. So that's your break from Big 12 play, and then you pick back up with West Virginia. Then Kansas with back-to-back road series. It's at West Virginia, then at Kansas, then Texas Tech, and then 5 consecutive home matches with Prairie View A&M, Kansas State, and then Incarnate Word. And then finish out the season at Oklahoma State, and the final regular season homestand against Oklahoma. What do you think about that conference slate?
You know what makes me the most nervous is the breaks.
Yeah.
And not because of rust, not even because of rest, because of COVID. Because you just don't know what's going to be going on with your players, who will be in the lineup, who won't be. And that's the nature of this season. But with a break in your Big 12 schedule, that gives me a little bit of anxiety because there's so many variables when it comes down to this virus.
So I was discounting. There are only 24 conference games. So if you win 15, you're definitely going to host a regional. I forgot.
Beautiful.
Iowa State doesn't play baseball.
How about that, huh?
It's because they're in Ames.
The Cyclones.
Gosh.
Just don't do it.
They have Wi-Fi in Ames?
Don't do it. They don't have Wi-Fi.
They don't have Wi-Fi in Ames?
I went to Ames. I was the first person to ever drive a car into Ames.
Really?
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
it was
pretty
big.
cool.
They were really excited about
Yeah.
that. But you got your Oklahoma
scared.
series. Your Oklahoma series is going to round out the year on the baseball side of things, which I think is a solid way to finish in conference play. Oklahoma's not that great. You're going to see them
in the Round Rock.
Yep. And then after that Big 12 tournament, Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, Oklahoma City. It's a nice ballpark. I've been there.
That's a tongue twister.
I watched Kramer Robertson play there, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Kramer, hardly know her.
All dates and times are subject to change. All home games will be on Big 12 Now or ESPN+. However, network selections could come on a later date. More ticket and attendance information will be available on Wednesday, February 3rd. So stay tuned for next Wednesday when schedule or game attendance information will be available.
Yeah, and I hope there's a pretty high capacity of fans that are allowed, because that's a beautiful ballpark. Right
Baylor
on the
ballpark?
river. Yeah. I mean, we got to cover a couple games there last year.
Feed the
before
Beaver,
it got
baby.
Cut down, man.
Feed the Beaver.
It is so cool.
Come on.
It's a beautiful ballpark. It'll be fun. Baseball back in Waco. I love it.
Baseball in Waco, that is coming up in mid-February. So really, we're not too far. About 3 weeks out for the baseball season kicking off in Waco. I like it. I love baseball season. I love baseball season. We're going to have baseball going on at the same time as track and field and volleyball and soccer and softball and golf and tennis and
Spring
equestrian
football.
and spring football. And oh, my God.
The weather gets warmer. The fun sports come out to play.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a very American game.
Put me
too.
in,
America's
coach.
pastime.
I'm ready to play.
Is that
that's
the
like
Lily World
ballpark
Series
jam.
one?
Yeah, that's like the
That's
ballpark
funny. Yeah,
jam.
I love
it's
it.
like all right. You know who sings that?
Drake.
No.
Drizzy Drake.
Who sings that, Armstrong?
John Fogerty.
Yeah, John
Or
Fogerty. Yep. Good call, Armstrong.
He was the lead singer of CCR, but then
There you go.
What?
he had a single career after that.
Where does this guy
I'm
come from?
just murdering my credibility
job,
when it comes to
Armstrong.
that.
Oh,
Music
thank you,
Monday.
thank you.
Yeah, you and your music gang. All right.
I know music, just not the ones that we put on here.
Baseball side, I like this Baylor baseball squad. I like if they finish 3rd or 4th in the Big 12. The Big 12 is a deep baseball conference this year.
Yep.
I really think that they're going to – I think Baylor could make a splash, but I think if you finish 3rd in the Big 12 in baseball, you're probably looking at a pretty darn good year.
Yeah.
Because Texas Tech's going to be good. Oklahoma State's always good. West Virginia's top 15. TCU is making a resurgence, and Texas is also making a resurgence. So
Conference is deep.
if Baylor wins over 30, 35 games this year, I'm really confident in their shot. If they win 35 or more games, I'm confident in their chances to host a regional in a league that's really deep this year.
They're very capable of.
On the softball side, the Louisiana tournament is how they're going to kick off their season. That one is right around the corner. So number 18 softball has announced the full slate under Glenn Moore, and they're going to open it in Lafayette, Louisiana, at a tournament hosted by number 9 Louisiana. They'll play 2 games against the Ragin' Cajuns and Missouri State before returning to Waco to host a home opener against UT Arlington. So they'll have a game against Louisiana, who's number 9, and a game against Missouri State. Missouri State has one of the longest tenured coaching staffs in the country. They beat Baylor last year, so 2 tough games to start the season with on the softball side.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier. And they're a good program, too. I mean, you got to cover them up close, and they got some bats. They got some bats.
Love the Baylor softball team. Gia Rodoni coming back. Taylor Ellis is going to join the show next week to talk about that schedule breakdown. Following weekend, BU debuts a new tournament hosted alongside Texas and Texas State. 3 schools will each hold games at their respective stadiums, while the field of Ole Miss, UConn, Lamar, and number 2 Mississippi State rotate between the 3 sites over the weekend. So looks like Baylor will get a shot at Ole Miss, UConn, Lamar, and Mississippi State, or at least 3 of those 4 teams. In the next weekend, they'll host those games. They won't have to go on the road. After the extended home stay, the Bears will hit the road. Lady Bears will hit the road for a month. That sees them play just 3 home games. They start out in Ruston, Louisiana at the Louisiana Tech Invitational, where they'll play Tarleton and Louisiana Tech for 2 games. A week later, they'll fly to Tucson to take on number 15 Arizona State before taking part in the Lopes Up Classic at Grand Canyon University, where they'll play Northern Illinois, UTEP, and Grand Canyon. 3 straight home games against SFA and against Houston. And then break up the month-long road trip for the Lady Bears before they head out to Sam Houston State on March 23rd. And that is when conference play starts. March 26th through 28th, they'll have a slate against Texas Tech in Lubbock, I should say, before a 3-game series at BYU on April 1st through 2nd. Going to BYU
That'll
Provo
be beautiful.
country.
That'll be so gorgeous.
Going to Jeff Grimes country over
Utah.
there.
Oh, gorgeous.
They'll then host number 4 Oklahoma. Woo! Hosting number 4 Patty Gasso in Oklahoma and Waco this year. That's going to be a fun little trip.
Late in the season. See who's
getting kind of late. I mean, you're rolling into conference play,
You know what I'm
second
saying?
weekend of conference play. Then they have a midweek against Texas State. Then they go to number 10 Oklahoma State. No weekends off in the Big 12. They'll then host Sam Houston State and then go to Iowa State April 23rd through 25th. They have a softball team, but not a baseball team. Just makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if I understand that.
It just makes sense.
I don't know if I understand. We should go talk to them about that.
Then
That doesn't make any sense.
We should. Who do we talk to for that?
I think Matt Campbell makes all the calls down there.
Mr. Softball himself.
Yeah.
Lady Bears wrap up the non-conference slate at UT Arlington on April 28th, and then they'll host Kansas in a conference slate on April 30th into May. They'll close out the regular season at number 7 Texas. They'll have 1 game on a Friday night against number 7 Texas. Then they'll host the next 2 games on May 8th and 9th at home. So 1 game in Austin, come back home, play them twice at Getterman. Big 12 tournament is May 14th and 15th in Oklahoma City, just 2 days. And then the NCAA regions begin a week later, May 21st through 23rd. Super Regionals, May 28th through 30th. And the Women's College World Series, June 2nd through 9th in OKC. Baylor Lady Bears softball, top 25 in the country this season. And, man, I'm excited about their season. I think they've got a really high ceiling for this team. Same as the men's side. If they finish 2nd or 3rd in the Big 12, they're looking really, really good to host a regional.
And all the way down to the end of the schedule. They got meaningful games in terms of the regular season Big 12 title. We'll learn a lot about them after Oklahoma. No rest for the weary. I love they get to have Texas at home to finish the season. That game could have Big 12 title implications.
All right, folks, that was the breakdown of the baseball and softball schedule. When we come back, we play Take 3 on this show. I give you 6 facts. 3 of them are true, 3 of them are false. You got to tell me what is what, JD and Armstrong and whoever else. I don't know. Call us. Get on the action. You know what? I'll give something away. If you call me right now to play this game, this darn game, I'll give you something. I don't know what yet. Let me figure it out in this commercial break. I'm Drake Toll. That's JD Pickell, Jack McKenzie, Andrew Robertson, Zach Sweeney, and Armstrong Sims. This is Up Tempo.
Number 2, Baylor men's basketball improved to 15-0 overall and 8-0 in Big 12 play with an unbelievable 107-59 win over Kansas State in Waco. The Bears were fueled by Davion Mitchell's 31 points off of 7 3-pointers, 6 of which came in the second half. Maceo Teague and Jared Butler also got in on the action with 18 and 13 respectively. As a team, Baylor shot 17 for 28 from behind the arc and won the rebound battle 41-23. This is just the second time in program history that the Bears have scored 100 or more points against the same opponent twice in one season. Elsewhere in the nation, number 13 Ohio State snuck by Penn State 89-79 at home. Number 14 Wisconsin beat Maryland on the road 61-55. Number 16 Florida State trounced Miami at home 81-59. Number 20 Virginia Tech won at Notre Dame by 11. Number 17 Creighton beat Seton Hall by 4. And number 25 Louisville lost at Clemson. On the women's side, number 6 Stanford beat Washington State 71-49. And number 24 West Virginia beat Texas Tech 73-53 on the road. In baseball, Luke Boyd, Jared McKenzie, and Andy Thomas have all earned Big 12 preseason all-conference. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
Happy Jersey Thursday, folks. How about it? We are playing Take 3 right now. We have a caller on the line. Before we get to that, though, FAU football has hired Mike Stoops as their defensive coordinator. In case you cared, now you know.
In case you wanted to, in case you wanted to stoop to that level.
Did you know the WAC added 5 teams?
I heard that. Where did I hear that?
You probably heard it on Up Tempo.
Was I on Up? Oh, that's what it was.
We broke news that day.
That's right. I forgot
that was
about
a monumental
right.
day in sports history. Armstrong, do you have the... so Derek Smith and I are good buddies. I love Derek Smith. I really do. He's just a cool, awesome guy. He's one of the people at Baylor. You're like, that's a good dude. And somebody tweeted a while back. This is from 2019. Brad Brown tweets, to the tune of McLean Stadium's "It's Third Down," but the rest of the tweet says "It's Thursday," And so Derek, being as cool as he is, decided to make this video and post it. And I want to play it on every Thursday now.
All right, let's get a good look at McLean Stadium across the way, where we'll be in about 48 hours because it's Thursday.
I love
That's
it.
good.
I love it.
That's
Inject
really
that
good.
in my veins. Thanks to Derek
And
Smith.
he's right. It is Thursday.
It's Thursday.
He's not lying to anybody on here.
All right, we got a phone call on the line. Bigfoot Jr. God, what is this going to be like?
Hello? Hello?
Bigfoot Jr. on the line.
Hey, guys, it's Bigfoot Jr. First-time caller, first-time listener. Listen, guys, I know my dad's called in, and I just want to say my dad is such a legend in Baylor football history. Do you think you guys could talk about him some more? By the way, I told him to invest in GameStop a month ago, and look where the stock is now. He made a bunch of money because of me. I'll hang up and listen. Little B's out.
When does Little Bees get a sponsorship from Double R?
Yeah, and when does Little Bees get a Twitter
share
account?
the wealth. I think Little Bees isn't Little Bees on Twitter?
Little Bees out.
Is he on Twitter? Do we know?
I don't think Little Bees
Confirmed?
is. Oh, Sean Bonner.
Uh-oh.
I just
You all right?
yacked myself with his microphone.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
We have a bunch of Riverbend Liquor and Wine texts. I forgot to check the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line today. There are 10 of them. We will try to get to those later. Right now, do we have any music? Literally, any music at all. They just make the games better.
There it is. Little River Band.
Is this day one music? No,
Little
this
River
is the new
Band.
music.
LRB.
No, this is Take 3 music. Take the 3 music.
I always keep LRB in here.
Take 3,
7
baby.
CDs.
Is it Take 3 or Take the 3?
I think we called it Take 3 when Skylar Wetzel was in
Yep.
here. We could do Take the 3.
All right, no,
this game's pretty
good.
versatile.
All
I like
right.
Take 3 though.
Army JD, and how about a little Andrew Robertson in here with us?
Let's ride.
Take 3 time. Are these true or false? Question number 1. The Houston Rockets did not discover until the 14th game of the 84-85 season their arena rims were set at 10 foot 3 inches.
Weird enough. I think it is true.
Okay. JD's going true.
There's too many details. I feel like it has to be true. It's a Rockets organization type of move. They just lost James Harden.
Armstrong, what say you?
I was not paying attention at all.
Sorry. The Houston Rockets did not discover until the 14th game of the 84-85 season their arena rims were 10 foot 3 inches.
True.
Actually,
Okay.
I changed my answer to false.
Oh.
10 foot 3 is so high. 10 foot 3 is like
So-
you would notice 3 inches.
Question
Zach's
2.
got false.
Question 2. Zach's got false. Set question 2.
With false, Zach.
No Olympic steeplechase silver medalist. Steeplechase, it's like cross country but on the track. No steeplechase silver medalist, male or female, has lived past the age of 45.
Wow.
True or false?
False.
Silver medalist. Dude, I'm gonna say false. If you are doing the steeplechase, you're probably in pretty good aerobic condition.
That's exactly
if
what I was
you're,
gonna
you know
say.
what I'm saying? Like I think you probably can stick around past 45.
45 is so young.
45 is
Okay,
really young.
so everybody's saying false.
Weird enough could be true, but I'm gonna say it's false.
There's just no way.
How about during a 2-week hamstring injury in 1948, the Dodgers secretly replaced Jackie Robinson with another African-American baseball player? During a 2-week hamstring injury.
True.
False. Jackie Robinson? No, they would notice a difference. I mean, come on. No way. No one's going to hit like Jackie.
Okay. JD, you said...
I said true.
Armstrong?
I say false.
Yeah.
Okay.
No way.
Last
No
but...
way.
Or the
think so.
three more. The NCAA required college football players to study at halftime until 1925.
False.
Oh, I'd give that true.
That's just
Study at halftime? You're required to study at halftime? There's no
Until
way.
1925?
That's just so stupid. It has to be true.
How would they enforce that?
True. That's true.
That is...
In 2008,
Well, the refs-
Michael
the refs
Vick's
just watch it.
prison intramural football team went 3-5.
False. He played chess and didn't play football in jail.
It's a lot of confidence. I'm going to ride the lightning. I'm going to say true as well.
I'm going to say false.
Okay, and then last
I
but
have no
not
idea what-
least, according to the official Major League Baseball rulebook, baseball games are to last 9 innings or 2.5 hours, whichever comes first.
I'm going to say false. I know they put a time limit on it, but it's not 2.5 hours.
Army?
False.
Ah, dang. So I got so many falses in here.
I have no idea how
I'm doing the
many
math.
Andrew?
Yeah, I got like 4 falses.
I think that has to be false. I think it's 3.5 hours.
All right, and cue the music for the answers. First question, the Houston Rockets did not discover that to the 14th game of the 84-85 season, their arena rims were set at 10 foot 3 inches. That is false.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's
Here we go.
The
Zach.
arena rims were at 9 feet 7 inches.
If you're 10-3, someone's not dunking.
14 games.
Yeah, that's true.
They were 5 inches off from 10 foot.
funny. That's so
All three of you said true. It was false.
I said false.
Oh, you changed yours to false?
Said false.
Yeah,
So there's a
okay, I
big
see that now.
Sweeney.
Yeah, it's
No Olympic steeplechase silver medalist, male or female, has lived past the age of 45. That was false.
Yeah, all
Thank
right. There we go.
goodness.
It's 41.
No.
None of them
no
have
way.
lived past the age of 41.
Impossible.
Olympic silver medalist in the steeplechase, male
Oh
or
my
female.
gosh.
Never.
Whoever wins the whoever wins the silver medal this year, I'll just be like,
If you're a steeplechase
no.
guy, get out of that sport.
yeah.
So you're all correct, though, because you said false. You're all correct because you said false.
good work, guys. Holy
During
cow.
a 2-week hamstring injury, Jackie Robinson was replaced by a separate African American in 1948 on the Dodgers roster.
I said true.
That true?
I said true.
I said false.
That's weird enough. It's true.
It is false.
Oh.
Good. Good.
You just make
Because
that
they
up?
replaced him with a Caucasian male
No
in
way.
blackface.
Oh
You're
my
lying.
God.
No
You're
way.
lying.
It actually happened, 1948.
No
That's
way.
horrible.
2 weeks.
That's horrible.
Because of a Jackie
So
Robinson
bad.
hamstring injury.
I hate that.
That's real American history that you will not be taught in school.
That's
you can
awful.
only learn
Wow.
that on Up-Tempo.
That's awful.
It's an atrocity. All right, last three here. The NCAA required college football players to study during halftime until 1925. You said false.
I said false.
True's around. True is correct.
Wow.
What?
That is true.
They went in there
made
and
them
said,
study at halftime.
hey, reading time right now till the game's back on. All right?
Yep. That's true.
I'll be back.
How about this? In 2008, Michael Vick's prison intramural team went 3-5. The only person to get this right was Andrew, saying true. Michael Vick's intramural football team in prison went 3-5.
They have intramurals
Yeah.
in prison?
You've not watched The Longest Yard?
That's not intramurals. That's just prison. It's just prison sports.
According to the official Major League Baseball rulebook, baseball games are to last 9 innings or 2 or more 1/2 hours, whichever comes first. That is true. You all got it wrong. That's true.
That is amazing.
Andrew is today's winner of Take 3.
Nice. Good work, Andrew.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Hey, I'm finding absolutely no source for this story about Jackie Robinson.
They don't want you to know.
What about Michael
Yeah.
Vick?
They tried to look. I just looked these up. I just looked up big sports facts.
Yeah, where are you finding these?
Celebrity
Because
birthdays.
I can't find these anywhere.
Today, we got to get. We're rolling to the end of the show here.
This Jackie Robinson story doesn't exist anywhere.
Celebrity birthdays today. Marcus Dobre of the Dobre brothers.
Okay.
How old?
Ooh.
Marcus Dobre and the Dobre brothers. I've honestly never heard of Marcus Dobre. I'm going to say...
Me neither.
Okay. I'm going to say 54.
Okay, he's a little off. I think it's probably 25.
Okay,
26?
Armstrong.
Oh, really? He's that young?
30.
22. Marcus Dobre. Happy
There we
birthday. Rapper J. Cole, possibly the best
Ooh.
rap song of all time.
Is what?
No Role Models.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Never heard it.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, so this is where Music Monday, I think I would probably be more effective.
Anybody? Birthday J. Cole.
J. Cole is 30...
Armstrong, hit it on the head, 36.
Look it up.
Great
You
job,
just know that?
Armstrong.
Sweeney just knew.
Sweeney knew.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say 36
Yeah,
too.
36.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, nice,
right.
you guys. You
No,
all got it right.
I was not going to say 36. I was going to say 32.
Other celebrity birthdays today. Andre Iguodala.
Ooh. I'm going to say he's older, I think.
He's definitely older.
I'm going to say 38.
I was going to say 38.
Good
Really?
guess.
He is
36.
37.
No.
Oh my
Zach
gosh,
Sweeney
that's
in
Sweeney
studio got it
nailing
right.
it on the head.
No way.
Okay, now this one is tough. King Henry V.
Oh wow.
When did he reign?
5th out
2007. 2007 to 2012.
How many
His
kings?
term.
Henry.
King Henry V.
Henry.
I'm going to say, dude, he's got to be 1600s, if not earlier.
Okay, what's his birthday? How old is he today? It's his birthday, guys.
I'm going to go 500.
Wow.
I'm going to say 542.
Be a monumental birthday for me.
463.
Oh, you guys are so close. 564. Happy birthday today to King Henry.
I'm okay with that.
The 7th.
King Hank, what are you going to do?
How about this? This day in sports history, Australian Open, Serena Williams defeats Venus Williams for her 7th Australian title.
Sibling rivalry.
Her 7th?
Yep.
2004.
2000 and I think it was more recent. I think it was 2013.
2009.
2017.
Oh, wow.
Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl against the New York Giants 34-7.
2000.
2001.
It is 2001. And then last but not least, in this day in sports history, Joe Montana in the Superdome beats the Denver Broncos for the Super Bowl 55-10.
1998.
98? Joe Montana and Joe.
I thought you said John Elway, my bad.
It was, but Joe Montana beat John Elway.
Okay, I'm going to say actually 1980.
I did 89.
I'm going to say 81.
I'm going 91.
1990. I am Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell, Armstrong, Sims, Zach Sweeney, Andrew Robinson, Jack McKenzie, all in studio today. The Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. What a show it was. Thursday. Let's come back and do it all again tomorrow. This has been Up Tempo.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.